Survival House Network.
And don't like the brags, I don't like the boast. They like hot butter on the breakfast toast. Watching flicks, talking chicks, I like to motorboat. Can Riverman make it, yo, a check? Nope. So look at all these movies I got. Commenting like, should we watch them or not? And I know they just be acting for cash, but I still got one question to ask. Like, why'd he do that, do that, do that? If that was me, I'd be like, screw that, screw that, screw that. I'm an alpha, I'd eat through that, through that, through that. So why'd he do that, do that, do that?
What's up, gang? BTM again this week. We got Zach, I'm Aaron, and for the first time in a long time, we got Josh, motherfucking James.
I wanted to introduce Josh James, though.
Go, well, he can have 2 introductions. He deserves it. So that was mine.
We got the Joshua Tree himself. Fucking the biggest cock in the world, Josh James.
What's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a little bit. Missed ya. How you been?
I've tried to fit his whole cock in my mouth multiple times. Could never do it.
It's been good, man. Josh has been busy, which I'm sure once we start, he'll get into talking about his channel and what's got him so busy. But we reached out to him because we decided that we were going to tackle some requests for January and possibly even February, because we got a big backlog, and the last quarter of the year, when it's all the holiday hoopla, we kind of dedicate shit to that. So anyway, we got some catching up to do. And one of the things we were going to do was Friday the 13th, the remake. Not a very good movie. I don't like it, but Josh wanted to do it because he loves this whole series. So
this was also requested, baby. We're doing request exploitation, baby.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started, and then we'll get to know Josh and see what he's been up to. 3, 2, 1, play.
Hell yeah, we see that red New Line Cinema logo. And now we're seeing a red Paramount logo. This is the first time Paramount had anything to do with this series since the 80s.
This is the coolest part of the whole movie. It pretty much is downhill from here.
Oh, this movie's amazing.
It's just boring. I don't really know what else I could say about it. Jason X is terrible, right? A movie like that is just trash and cringe in its own ways. But this movie's just boring.
Oh, this is the most fucking entertaining movie I've ever seen.
I don't know. I think that's why I have to put this maybe at the bottom, just because it's so boring.
I'm literally on the edge of my seat.
I don't know how it ends. I don't really remember the premise. I just remember rehashed. We try and throw a whole bunch of teens into Crystal Lake, and then Jason's there. That's it. I remember that one Willa Ford chick who had that one hit in the Britney Spears era is in it, and she shows her tits, and they look all fucked up. Like she had a real bad tit job.
How dare you? All tits are nice.
Hey, so Josh, man, what's up? What you been doing?
What's going on, man?
Tell everybody what's been going on.
Holidays have been crazy, life stuff. Family came out, then I got the flu, and,
We both got hit with the fucking flu on the Christmas.
Oh, it sucked so bad. My mom, luckily, was here to take care of me. It took a little bit of time off work, but outside of that, things are going good. Just been developing the YouTube channel and trying to keep the R-rated podcast going. Slowed down a little bit last year, but still doing shows and getting into some different territory on the YouTube channel, which has been fun. I just felt like it was time to change things up a little bit, to grow, to expand. Subs have been coming into the channel like pretty fast. I think the hard work I've been putting into it's been really working. So,
dog.
Consistency.
Yeah,
consistency. Yeah. I think. I just think the more shit you put out and the more consistent you are with it, I mean, if, you build it, they will come. That whole fucking mantra, that whole thing, right?
Yeah, and I tried to back out of the corner I put myself into a little bit because I love the R-rated horror commentary podcast. It's still on Horrorphilia, but I really wanted to open it up to be able to talk about other things in film and not only just film, but comics and other things that I'm interested in, to kind of broaden the spectrum of content a little bit. And so I just enjoy it because it's less kind of repetitive for me. But
oh yeah,
it's been a fun little journey, and I'm learning still about things, but been getting some good feedback. And
I've even noticed. I mean, I can't say I've watched everything you've put up because you're putting up a lot more shit than you are, and I just don't. Whatever, my head's in the clouds. But I do notice that your video editing has gotten better. Like I saw your very first video, And then I don't remember which is the last one I watched. Probably one of the fucking Mandalorian ones or something. Am I right? Was it Mandalorian? Is that what you were covering ad nauseum?
I think it was some of the first couple of ones weren't on that, but I know what you mean. It's like you just try things out. You're like, oh, well, that doesn't work. You know, like.
Am I think it was? Were you doing the? No, I watched one. It was on Scooby Doo and Kiss. Was that your first one? Or
yeah, I picked up a $1 DVD at the dollar store, and I was like, well, this is good to review because I like Kiss and I like Scooby Doo, but I wanted to pick something that was purposely not necessarily a hot topic at the time to just kind of like fumble through and kind of figure out what was working. So I was trying like all these different things, and I've slowly been like streamlining it and, you know, getting a better camera and getting better lighting. And so it's just it's not hard. It's just a learning process of like figuring out what to do, what not to do. Cause I don't ever, you know, I just starting to learn how to be on camera, be in front of the camera, and how to have it not look like shit. And, you know, it takes more work to produce something like that. But, once I started figuring out OBS and got a little bit better camera and stuff like that, like it started to flow pretty easy. But you know, it's still improving. It's a work in progress, but I just noticed like right away when I started doing a couple videos a week and having consistency and, you know, trying to put a little production value into it, that people just started coming to the channel, you know, pretty consistently. So I'm should hopefully round the corner to 1,000 subs. I think in the next month or two, and which will be nice because
you'll do streams and stuff.
I can start streaming. Streaming is really the thing I want to start doing, but just to be able to monetize videos and things would be nice.
Yeah.
Not that I'd really make any money off it, but
don't hold your breath on the monetization, my friends.
No, exactly. But it's still
saying, like our shit. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Hey, they missed the opportunity to have fucking Jason fuck his mom's head whenever he saw it decapitated. That's what I would have done.
I was saying somebody's gonna have to rope us back into this movie on occasion because, yeah, I'd rather talk about anything else.
That's because you're a fucking NPC. This movie's great.
Well, I wanted to talk about to Josh. You know, you're talking about the monetization and all that stuff, like all that stuff about YouTube and in the media the last month or whatever, and all that bullshit, and basically them trying to pass the buck and blame content creators for their own bullshit and the whole labeling shit for kids and all that stupid stuff. I don't know. It's just.
I mean, on one hand, dude, I kind of get that a little bit because there's been a lot of, because we think about YouTube content and just like in this sort of realm in which we collect content on the internet for ourselves, you know, on YouTube to watch. But there's a whole bunch of shit on the internet that is pretty kind of fucked up in its own way that you feel like is trying to manipulate children in a certain way. I think that's really what they're mainly trying to combat. But I think there might be a little underhandedness in there in thinking, we can use this as a sort of double-edged sword in order to, like, I don't know, either censor people a little bit or get rid of these, like, trim off the fat, essentially. So part of me wonders about, like, how much of this shit is, like, kind of hysterics, you know, people blowing it out of proportion. I definitely put an 18+ label on my, you know, channel header because I'm like, why even risk it? And I really don't want kids listening to my content anyway.
I want all the kids listening to me.
Well, yeah, I'll leave that to you.
Exactly.
Now, our demo is like what, the 18 to 45. I don't think we reach anybody under 18 anyway. But our stuff, we just click those annoying boxes saying no, it's not intended for kids. But I think it's more bad. I don't think it's really good at all. I think you know what? If parents are really that concerned with it, keep your fucking kids off YouTube. And when you go to Denny's on Sunday after church, don't fucking give your little kid the iPad.
Yeah,
teach them not to fucking cry. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, I'm totally for that. Like, parenting should be the first line of defense. If you're a shitty parent, you let your kid, you know, roll around YouTube, you know, on an iPad all day, it's going to happen. They're going to stumble across something.
It's just a lot easier. Yeah, the content's really available for everybody. And like you said, like we're talking about parents nowadays, iPads, iPhones, those are at the ready now. And literally, you go into the grocery store, some little kid is tapping on, some baby is tapping on her mother's iPad, right? They give that to your kid to shut them up.
Exactly.
And-
Kids are fucking annoying. I go babysit and I'm like, go fucking watch something. I want to talk to you. I want to see you. Go fucking watch something on the fucking computer or the iPad. It's all good.
I don't know. I just think certain parents' laziness is starting to fall on the shoulders of people that it shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, why? I mean,
It shouldn't fall on the shoulders anyway. It's like, I don't give a fuck. It's not my job to raise your kid. I don't care what your kid sees.
that's what I'm saying, though. But, essentially, Josh, if you're putting out a video reviewing an episode of The Mandalorian and you got a screen capture of Baby Yoda as your thumbnail, you're prime target unless you're following all the rules, right? Because one swear word or whatever you say, well,
Right.
you had a Baby Yoda on there.
Right.
I'm like, fucking Baby Yoda doesn't. Is it really 5-year-olds that are sharing Baby Yoda memes all over the internet? I don't think so.
The
It's fun.
5-year-olds love Star Wars.
I'm saying it's fucking Mac. People like Mac are sharing Baby Yoda memes, not 2-year-olds, not 3.
I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of like underage kids on the internet and like in countries like overseas, like in Indonesia and shit. You know what I mean? Like there's that aspect of it because I'm pretty sure there's been some new subs on my channel that are like from Indonesia that are like in the like tween category, and I have to be really careful that I make sure I age restrict shit because I even if they're from India somewhere or something, they're still children, so I just figure fuck it, why not, why even risk it?
Oh yeah, I know. I agree. Do whatever you got to do. And like I said, your demo's not our demo, your demo. They're not going to be kids anyway for the most part. Protect yourself. I'm just saying the principle behind it's bullshit.
There's titties happening.
It's really stupid.
Speaking of kids, they suck titties, and there are titties on screen.
These tits look so plastic. They don't look very good, but they're not as bad as the Freddy versus Jason tits at the beginning. That skinny dip scene.
No, yeah.
Those look way better.
These look way better.
No.
Yeah, but I was saying to Zach earlier that like I kind of give this movie a pass because I feel like it could have been way worse than it ended up being, which is kind of a fucked up way to look at a movie, but I can still throw it in and enjoy it. But I just don't really ever get like a inclination to really kind of watch it randomly. You know what I mean? But
can you really remember any of the kills though? I mean, I've only seen it one time, so maybe you've seen it more than once, but I don't remember anything.
When this came out, I saw it in the theater with like my Navy buddies because we were like in A school at the time. And I remember really enjoying like the first like 20 minutes, which is like this whole first round of kills because you get some really awesome Jason kills, the sack of Jason kills.
Yeah, if the movie would have just ended after this 20 minutes, we could have left and it'd be like, you know what, that wasn't that bad.
But then the movie stretches out into this kind of long, sort of cliche, boring Platinum Dunes movie.
The characters in this opening part are probably better, less annoying.
What's interesting is I think the Nightmare on Elm Street remake is worse,
Right.
but at least I kind of remembered more about that movie because it offended me so much.
Mm-hmm.
This one I forgot everything. Like as soon as I left the theater, I'm like, what did I see again?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Freddy remake was just so offensive. I think I remembered some beats a little more, but it's a worse movie.
Look at those dank buds, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's the word. Zach and I were talking about this a couple episodes ago, but for me, and I think Zach agreed too, for me to really hate a movie and for me to give it like 1 star or whatever, it has to fucking bore me. Like, and that goes for if I watch The English Patient and I've never seen it, but if it bored the fuck out of me, I'm sorry. It's a 1 star movie.
So boring,
right?
but
then it's a 1 star for me personally. Then it's a 1 star.
Boring for me is like a 4 out of 5, 4 out of 10.
But if it's boring, how could you?
For me to give it a 1, I have to completely despise it. Like this fuck this movie.
that's kind of well. That's what I say about like Jason X. Like you could say, oh, that's such a fucked up movie within the franchise or whatever. It is. But I do kind of love it for it's like kind of like just where they were like, just fuck it. Let's just take Jason's space. It has kind of a fuck you attitude about it.
Yeah, let's just go full fucking retard.
Yeah, and if you kind of forget that it's a Friday the 13th movie, it can be kind of fun. You know what I mean? So I can appreciate that.
Well,
you know?
Jason X has moments, but it's not consistent. Like for the most part, it's a slog, but there's like little beats that you come away and you remember them. Everybody remembers the frozen ice head smash kill. Mm-hmm. Everybody remembers the smashing the tree, throwback, the girl in the campground and little things like that. But overall, it's kind of a slog. But yeah, it's got some nice things you can say about it. I'm trying to think of the nice things I could say about this movie. Like they tried maybe to capture an old school aesthetic with it. Like let's take it back to the camp after we went to space. I guess I'll give it that. But they failed. It reminds me actually of the Evil Dead remake. Kinda.
Evil Dead remake's way better than this, I think.
Yeah, I think it's better too. But I'm saying the Evil Dead remake, they took it back to where the first movie was, but they made it more gritty. That's what this reminds me of. It's just like, let's go back to camp. Let's kind of write off everything. And
well, the problem with the Evil Dead remake is the same problem that this movie kind of has, is that they, especially Evil Dead though, is they vacuumed out all the fucking humor. It's just the campiness. It's really such a part of the identity of these franchises. But I was just telling Zach that what this movie needs, and every Friday the 13th movie needs, is a Harry Manfredini score. You got to have it in there. It's part of the formula.
Mm-hmm. It really does make this more generic without it. It is really just a basic bitch Platinum Dunes flick. It really is. Yeah, I bet you that would have added an element to it. And you got to have like some quirky character of the group. Why are they all so fucking serious? Because every Friday movie had some kind of quirky member of the group, right?
Well, I mean, they went a little too douchey with it too, with the guy looking for his sister, and then the character Trent constantly fucking sword fighting through the whole fucking movie. It's just
you can have one douchebag, but give us one like mentally handicapped guy. Give us one overweight guy. Give us give us a nerd. I know it's not the 80s anymore. Nerds aren't cool. It used to be like the hip thing to put a nerd in every movie. But I know the problem with the Evil Dead remake, going back to that though, is the fact that they fucking abandoned and lied to you about their whole marketing gimmick in the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Which one was this? The Evil Dead one?
Yeah, because they were selling it. That was the whole marketing. Like, it's practical effects, because this is like height CGI horror. It's like practical effects, no CGI whatsoever in this movie. First scene of the movie when they burn the fucking witch or whatever the fuck it is, it's her whole face is emblazoned in CGI fire.
That wasn't CGI fire. They shot the fire separate in front of a green screen and then digitally put it in front of her.
Oh, it looks shitty.
Somebody like sent us a thing like yelling at us like, that's not CGI fire. They put it in afterwards.
Well, then they were honest on a technicality. It's like, well, technically,
it looked as shitty as CGI
it
fire.
Looks real
if they
shitty.
did it like that, why not just do it like, we put a fire in front of the camera lens and have the actress stand behind it and just pretend like she's on fire, baby.
Yeah,
that would have looked better.
And they didn't even need to do that. They could have easily gotten around that shitty scene. It's just the fact that it was right in the beginning of the movie. It just left a bad taste in my mouth.
Hey, look, they don't want him to see them fucking. So of course they leave the light on in there so that he can see him fucking still. That makes sense.
That guy's a champ, man. I might have lost my wood by now. That guy stopped like 5 times, just kind of sitting, listening out into the woods. I mean,
you would have lost your wood. What are you, fucking like 80 years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, VD, bro.
I'm 80. I listen to a lot of podcasts, and they're all pitching Blue Chew now, that Viagra, like chewy gummies. It's like
fucking Artie Lang. I was watching Artie Lang earlier today. Fucking Halfway House.
Yeah. I started listening to him too. I've listened to all his episodes, and I'm a big Artie Lang fan.
He should change his name to Artie Lame, because his dick hangs lame.
Dude, the thing about Artie's, looking at him, I'm like, he looks really good, with the exception of his nose, of course. He looks like
and his teeth.
Healthy, He
needs to blow that shit up like a balloon so it looks like it's normal.
Yeah, his nose, but also his teeth are fucked up if you look closely. He doesn't open his mouth enough. You don't really see it all the time, but his teeth are like methed out. They're not like they used to be. So his teeth are fucked up too. He needs dental work.
Yeah.
He needs, I don't know why his nose, I want to say he's addressed it on his show, but I don't know why he's not getting that nose fixed. Maybe he's keeping it there as a reminder, like, okay, to stay sober.
Possible.
Like, I'm a fuck up.
I think maybe that's just a matter of time to let everything heal, get to its final, point where it's healed over enough to be able to cut into it to do something with it,
I was worried that when he got out of rehab and he started this podcast, he was going to lose his edge. A lot of guys get sober and stuff like that, or sometimes people find religion and I'm not knocking that at all, but sometimes they lose a certain edge. And he hasn't, but he has. Have you noticed, like, he's still saying the same raunchy humor. He's just awfully very grateful, in his tone. He's very appreciative. He's different, but like I've noticed, and I'm not knocking this. This is totally fine, but I do notice he's not saying the N-word anymore.
Well,
because on Stern,
he's got a head full of, AANA shit. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
people who are in the program like to have a different way of thinking.
He's not completely neutered. He's still making like the same jokes or whatever. But I just noticed he's skating around certain terms. Like if you listen to old Howard clips or watch old Howard clips, dude, on Stern, the biggest radio show in the world, he was saying the N-word all the time. Like he was going that hard. And I think a lot's changed since he's been on the Stern show though too. But that guy's lost so many jobs. But he lost a job 5 years ago when he went on Twitter and he was. What was that? There was some anchor. Is it a Fox News anchor? It was a CNN, some sports anchor.
Oh yeah.
The black chick, and then he just he tweeted out this big rape fantasy. It was like a big long joke where he was talking about how he had a sex dream where she was a slave and he was a master. It was this big whole thing he went off on, and it was the most racially insensitive thing as far as the joke goes. And he lost whatever job he had at the time because of that. I don't see him doing stuff like that anymore.
Yeah,
but he did an episode a month, it was like his third episode. Did Gilbert Gottfried? It was fucking hilarious. I was dying laughing.
Was he on meth?
Who? Artie?
Yeah, that sounds like a meth head thing to do.
No, I think he said on his podcast recently that he only dabbled in meth, jokingly. Like, I just dabbled in meth. He was doing other shit.
So he was on meth.
He was doing more expensive shit, I'm sure.
This is the part where they find the head, bro. This is after Jason cummed all over it, preserved it with his cummies.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, do they find the head again in this movie? Or are we just reminding you of the second movie?
I just said that. I just said this is where she find the head. Can't you hear, mister?
This is a little bit of a...
Ow!
They're vibing on part 2.
This whole movie is just the first 3 put together.
Essentially.
I feel like they underreacted. If I pulled out a fucking old woman's head, I would have,
fucked it.
Flipped shit.
I would have fucked it. But yeah, this movie, it's almost over.
So they rewrote the whole canon, right? Like, is his mom... So his mom, he still got the head, but in this canon, did the mom do anything? Did the mom murder anybody? Or is he... What is the Jason lore of this movie? What happened?
Why are you asking us like we remember?
I don't know. I'm asking. I'm curious. And for his mom has to have had some significance.
It's the same lore, man. There was a flashback scene at the very, very beginning where Pam Voorhees gets beheaded by a camp counselor. So you don't see... I don't think you see Jason. Do you see Jason? No, I don't think you do, but... Am I thinking of Freddy versus Jason? I am, aren't I?
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
This movie's forgettable. That's all you need to know about it.
I get my movies confused.
I remember Jason is like a fucking hermit and he lives underground in this one.
Yeah, he's got like some Rambo 5 tunnels.
How did he make those tunnels? Was he taking dynamite and blowing those tunnels open and shit?
Rambo or Jason? Either?
Both of them. Both these fucking big meaty retards in these movies.
I don't know. I've never known how you make your own tunnels and like shit like that. I give to a degree. I give props to like illegal aliens. Like, how do they make those tunnels?
They're fucking. They got ingenuity, baby. See, these are the people we need to be hiring, figuring out how to do good things. Like they think outside the box. We think in the box. We gotta get out of this box.
I think I remember one of the things that people pointed out about this movie was that Jason like hauled ass in this movie. Like he really fucking moved around pretty quick.
He runded it.
Versus, teleportation, he ran a lot. But it never really bothered me, though.
Remember all those times people were like, that's not scary seeing him run. What the fuck are you talking about?
The Jason in this is in shape, right? Is the guy who played Jason in this the same dude? It's a different guy than Freddy vs. Jason, right?
Yeah.
Is it totally different guy?
It's a different guy, yeah. I think Ken Kersinger was Freddy vs. Jason.
This one's David Mears.
Right.
I never understood why... Well, no, I take it back. I guess I get why they recast Kane Hodder in Freddy vs. Jason, because they wanted someone to look physically opposing to Freddy. And Kane Hodder's really not that tall.
I like his reaction to seeing a big hulking retard running at him with a machete. He's just like,
It's my favorite kill of the movie, honestly.
It's over. We're all done. What do you guys think of that movie?
Damn, dude. What the longest title card ever? Fucking 25 minutes in? Fuck me. What the hell was that?
I think I'm a little bit behind you guys.
It's all dank.
That was a weird 25-minute long introduction scene.
It wasn't weird. It was perfectly normal.
It was weird. No, but the Kane Hodder thing. I think it's a bit extreme to not give the guy that had been in the running for the job for Freddy vs. Jason for so long because of his height.
I think it's a great idea.
The whole industry, dude, they'll fucking slap platform shoes on Robert De Niro for The Irishman that are like a foot tall.
Fuck him. He doesn't deserve the role. He doesn't just get it by fiat. He's not entitled to that role. He's a fucking midget. He can deal with that. That's what happens when you ain't a tall Chad like me. You have a fun fact though. You guys ever go to like Reddit and look at like, oh yeah, there's a fucking I'm a tall boy Reddit, and then there's like, oh, short boy Reddit. I don't remember what they're really called, but the tall one is really like, it's fucking hilarious because it's mostly guys like, yeah, I had to get the fucking bread off the top of the counter for my girlfriend. It was so cute. And then you go to these short guys and it's like literally like fucking like suicidal shit. Like they're talking about like, man, I would fucking kill to be 5'3", like stuff like that. Like, man, I'd give anything just to be fucking considered a little short. It's sad. I didn't realize how seriously people took that shit.
Well, I mean, I guess if you were too tall, man, it would make your life a living hell. You have to order all your clothes, get special clothes. Or I knew a guy he was massive and he had to order all his shoes special. Like he couldn't even go to like a big and tall. Everything was custom. And it would make shopping for a car really fucking hard too.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So.
Fucking weird shit.
I'm content with my average 5'10" basic bitch height. I'm good.
He's always been fucking average.
Yeah,
What's that quote? I don't even remember.
They couldn't get Barry Watson for this movie, so they got a guy that looked just like him.
Yeah,
The Seventh Heaven guy. Yeah, he looks just like him.
See the guy that fucked the kids?
No, that's the dad. That's the Reverend. The dad.
See, I fucking model my whole life around that guy.
All right, enough of that.
This is the character everybody remembers. He's shit.
I don't remember any of them. Oh, he's like the asshole.
Yeah,
that's right.
Trent.
I watched this a second time actually this past year. I don't think I made it through it. I fell asleep, but yeah, I remember this. He's the guy looking for his sister. Brown hair guy. That's the asshole.
And then the only other guy I remember is there's an Asian dude that was in fucking what's that movie with He Will Not Divide Us? What's that guy? What's his name?
Oh, Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. He's in that movie that basically ripped off Rear Window, and they actually got in trouble. They had to. I think they got sued by the estate of fucking Hitchcock for that movie. But yeah, and then there's a black dude. The only part I remember with him is he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm starting a record company," and the chick's like, "Oh yeah, is it rap?" And he's like, "Why you gotta be so racial? Oh, I can't listen to Green Day." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Well, what kind of music is it?" And he goes, "Rap." It's like, what the fuck was the point of that scene?
This guy's got a young John Saxon vibe. No, you know what's funny about that Suburbia, right? That's the movie you're talking about. They really got sued. You can't sue anybody over that. You can steal a concept and a premise all fucking day long, but if you change the dialogue and the names and all that stuff, it's free game. I mean, it might be cheap as shit.
Everything's fucking derivative of something else anyway, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, has not... I mean, Eli Roth did it, right? Eli Roth remakes movies basically with a new name. That's all he does. Tarantino does it a lot, right? He pays a lot of homage and stuff like that. But yeah, so it doesn't matter. That sounds like a really stupid lawsuit.
I want to say they won, though.
No, dude. I mean, I don't remember what the actual figures are, but if you are able to take something like that to court, a judge has to decide that it's X amount of percent like close to the original, like so much.
I mean, that movie just ripped off the entire plot of it.
Well, then why don't they sue The Simpsons that parodied it, right? On one of their Treehouse of Horrors, Bart had a broken...
Because parody is covered. Parody is completely covered by fair use.
But that might as well be a parody, right? If it's that close.
No. It has to be a comedy to be a parody.
I don't know. I don't think anybody won that lawsuit. I think you're making it up.
If I remember right, I think they did.
Speaking of Shia LaBeouf, though, I finally watched that movie Lawless.
Didn't you love his cock in that movie?
Shia LaBeouf didn't have a cock in that movie.
Oh, it's amazing in there.
I think you're thinking of necrophiliac. No, not necrophiliac. Nymphomaniac.
Yeah, he had a great cock in that movie.
Necrophiliac would be a better movie. No, I watched Lawless, man. It's on Netflix, and that came out in 2012, and I really fucking liked it. I think I always shied away from it just because I don't know, I didn't want to watch something with Shia LaBeouf. I kind of always wrote him off as that kid from Even Stevens. I never could take him seriously.
That kid from Even Stevens has such a big cock, he'll fuck you in half with it.
But it was good. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It was really good.
Which one?
It's got the fucking kid from Even Stevens in it. Why would I watch it?
That movie Lawless.
Oh, it's got Tom Hardy. Yeah. It's like a period piece. Like they're like moonshine runners or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, it's the prohibition shit. It's really good. I really liked it. Guy Pearce kind of played the bad guy, man. He was really good. And Guy Pearce just shows up out of nowhere every now and a blue moon. Like, I don't know. He's still a thing, I guess. But he was really good. I dug it. I even like Shyla.
Yeah, I think I caught it on like Netflix or something and enjoyed it, but I don't think I've seen it in a couple of years.
A lot of people have been saying that that new Shia Honey Boy is supposed to be good too. It's been getting a lot of good reviews, rather. I think it's
okay. I was wrong. They didn't win the lawsuit.
There's no way I'm surprised a lawyer took the suit. Personally, the only reason he took the suit is because it was the Hitchcock estate and it was prolific enough.
Maybe it was a fucking nice suit. Maybe it was like fucking Armani or something.
Yeah, if it wasn't the estate of Alfred Hitchcock or somebody of relevance like that, no lawyer would have taken that. So,
hey, I'm gonna grab a drink. I got it in the fucking freezer. I'll be back.
Okay. So, Josh, what have you been watching lately, man? You were sick. You probably had a lot of downtime to watch it.
Let's see. I watched that new Dracula series on Netflix.
Dude,
the first 2 episodes I thought it's weird because they got some stuff in that show really, really good. Like Dracula himself, which was more of like a Hammer horror Dracula, I really liked.
The actor was great. The first episode I really dug, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. It's got a lot of promise. Yeah. The second episode was decent. I thought it was a little slower. Yeah, it wasn't as good as it was like a Agatha Christie and then there was none type of vibe, right? Mm. The whole like who is it and the thing, right? That whole vibe.
Yeah, but I like that. I liked seeing Dracula in that environment though. Like I bought it as like part of the Dracula mythos. Now when they dragged it into modern day, that's when I was like they dropped the ball here. Like I did not like the third episode at all, but
no, I liked the second episode just fine, but yeah, the third one, it's like what the fuck.
You know what your guy's problem is? You're watching them damn cartoons. You should have been watching fucking Don't Fuck with Cats. That's a good documentary.
I actually want to see that too.
I'll get around to it. Yeah, I've got a big queue going, but no, I was telling Zach the last time we recorded, I had just seen the first episode of Dracula. I'm like, hey Zach, it's pretty good. You should watch it.
Yeah,
and then I kind of retracted it. I'm like, man, especially the third episode is fucking whack as shit with a shitty ending.
Yeah, they should have taken it out of the era that they were in. It was so much better in that more romantic sort of vibe. But
then you have Dracula tweeting and he's on Tinder.
Yeah,
and shit. What the fuck?
No,
now,
yeah.
Oh, that's genius.
I can sort of suspend all my cynicism for a second because okay, if Dracula does live and he transcends generations and hundreds of years, then okay. Then I could see how technically Dracula would be around today and he probably would be integrated and be using technology. Okay, but I don't give a shit. It's fucking cheesy.
It was cheesy and it cheapened it. It like lost its luster for me. But another thing that bothered me too was, and I'm actually probably going to do a review on this on the show.
You should.
But on my channel. But the actress that played Agatha Van Helsing, like I was just like, first I thought, oh, this chick's gonna be like a pretty badass, actress character, whatever. And then I was like, her acting's not really that good. And then I was like, she reminds me of something I can't put my finger on. And then eventually I was like, she's kind of got a Tommy Wiseau vibe about her. And
dog.
I just saw her acting, especially in the second episode, was just atrocious. So that kind of took me out of it too. I could have been a directing problem, but her as an actress didn't really care for that much either. But I love some of the scenarios that Dracula got in. I thought were really cool. It was really cool, like when he was outside the convent gates there, when he transforms from the wolf back into human and he's confronting them. I thought that was like really interesting little like character study of Dracula, like we hadn't seen before. I don't know. I just had some really nice moments in it. That third episode really fucking killed it for me, man.
But yeah, none of those moments were in the third episode though. It felt like, okay, if they're really going to do this needed to be a series and not like a mini series of 3 parts.
Right.
Because it seemed really extreme to go.
Well, it was like 3 movies. It's like each one was an hour and a half long, you know?
But still, it was in the format of a series. It didn't play out like a movie. You know, it just felt like it was going from 1 to 100 to go from episode 1 and 2 and then all of a sudden to 3. Now, maybe that would have been less polarizing if it would have been like a 10, 12 episode arc, you know, of hour-long episodes.
Right, yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, because they're like, you know, next thing you know, Dracula's on shore. There's like a helicopter and like 2 cop cars and guns are pointing at him. And he's like been floating around in the ocean for 100 years. And like, he's got like this perfectly white shirt on. I don't know. When they first showed that, like that cliffhanger or whatever it was, where, you know, it was modern day and he had the guns on him, I was giving it the benefit of the doubt for a moment because I'm like, okay, well, I didn't really see that coming. I didn't really think that was going to happen. But yeah, it didn't win me over. I'm like, this is absolutely shitty. I mean, from the first second he sent that text with the vampire emoji. Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
The vampire emoji to the one girl.
Oh, that's genius.
It was absolutely stupid. It was just too self-aware.
Vampire emojis, though.
It was too self-aware, man. I don't know. I didn't dig it. But the guy was good.
Hey, this is the only thing I ever remember being different about the Killer Cut, which is what we're watching. In the theater, the way he gets the mask is different. In this version, it's different. And I remember thinking the version in the fucking movie theater is better.
You have to tell me.
What was the difference, man? Yeah.
All I remember is he's in there like he's looking at a magazine. And he's looking at like a porn mag and he's talking to it. He's like, oh yeah, you want a lick? How about that? How about that? See, I laughed at that. So whenever that's not in here, I'm like, that was probably the funniest part.
Zach based his entire humor and his character off that one fucking scene.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
His shirt says fuck Christmas. See, he's the reason the war on Christmas is going on. Fucking asshole.
While I was watching that shitty Dracula thing, I was actually playing through Castlevania, and then as soon as I was done with that, I'm like, no, I'm going to go back to playing Castlevania. This is a good Dracula. Because, Zach, I've been obsessed with Symphony of the Night. I don't know what took me so long, and I'm still playing it. Like I'm about 14 hours in. I'm getting to the end, but I'm just loving every second of it. That's a good Dracula. That gives me better vibes than that shitty show did.
Does it burn through the witches and in the back of my Dracula?
I saw you watch The Irishman and you gave it a pretty substandard review.
Underwhelmed.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. That was good.
But you know, I gave it a 7, right? I acknowledge its flaws, but I liked it. But no, but I totally get when people like Zach maybe give it like a 5 or something, right? I'm not going to knock somebody. Like, I get it. It's kind of boring. It's really slow.
It's a slow burn, but I can really get into like really good character driven movies like that. Like I can watch half of it, take a break for half an hour, so come back and finish it later in the day or something, you know?
I didn't even hate the pacing of it. I didn't connect with anything on the screen.
I liked it. I liked the characters. I thought it was, I mean, for a movie that was like 3 hours and 45 minutes, I was able to sit through the whole thing. To me, it didn't quite feel like that, I guess.
The first 30 minutes, I was completely like jarred by how fucking weird.
The CGI?
The de-aging.
The demonic eyes. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they got Robert De Niro. First of all, we know what 30-year-old Robert De Niro looked like. There's movies with him in it. But then they get like 80-year-old Robert De Niro and they put that weird film over him to make it seem like 30-year Robert. Like, no, you look like 89-year-old. Yeah.
I wasn't buying it at all, dude. You
No,
know?
it really took you out of it because it's like, no, dude, they should, I mean, are we above doing the Godfather 2 trick where you get De Niro to play a young Brando, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, but no, it's no. We got to take our actors that we're paying a shit ton of money, and we got to really get our cash worth. But anyway, like I said, we know what 30-year-old De Niro looks like. So when they sit there and do a reskinning over 85-year-old De Niro, it looks weird. And when he was like trying to like strong arm and be a tough mobster, beating that guy down, he looked like an old man kicking him on the curb. Like he could barely.
Yeah, those kicks were not convincing.
He could barely move his hips, man.
They might as well have just got a fucking stand-in and then CGI'd his head on top of it. That's all he did anyway.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what they were doing anyway. Why didn't they just do that? I don't get it, because they've done that before. They've put people's fucking faces on younger people.
Because Scorsese said he didn't want it would make the movie under the conditions that he would be able to have his filmmaking style, the way he directs, the way he makes the movie, completely uninhibited.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't want to film it with anybody else other than De Niro and Pesci and Pacino. Like, so he's like, I'm going to film it exactly the way I want to film it in my style. And I don't have to do like any kind of like special motion capture suits or any of that bullshit. I don't want to have to change anything. If I could do that, then we'll make the movie. And essentially ILM said that they would create the software they needed to de-age the actors. But I think they were really only considering their face and not the rest of their bodies at all, because he walked like an 80-year-old man. He moved. He wasn't even trying. He was maneuvering. That's why he came off like a guy of his age that had just gone through some kind of like end of his life crisis and came home with jet black dyed hair, right? We've all seen it. Yeah.
You know, he just kind of came off like that. So, but you know, you kind of have to let that go. And I was able to suspend that for a while, and I let it go, and I was able to enjoy the movie enough. But my thing is, I guess if I had to,
holy shit.
What?
I think we're seeing, what are you seeing right now, Josh? You're watching The Killer Cut, right?
I'm watching the porn magazine with those big jugs. Holy shit.
He's walking into the barn with the knapsack.
No, he's licking a page pussy.
Fuck, we're watching two different versions.
Maybe I don't have the Killer Cut. This is like some bootleg I picked up in Malaysia.
Yeah, we got the guy licking the porn. He's licking the pussy of the porn mag.
I know the scene you're talking about, though. I've seen it.
So we're seeing the theater. I thought, see this fucking Blu-ray box set, it has the fucking theater version.
Which one's the better?
I thought only the Killer Cut was out.
Which one's the better one?
I don't know. They're both not good. I remember liking this scene better because I laughed at it. The other version has him wearing the mask and Jason kills him and takes it.
So this version, hold on.
I'm just now getting to the scene where he's like pulling open the centerfold on Hustler.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're just a little bit behind on her.
So he does.
I think I'm just maybe a little bit behind you guys. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're like a minute behind. So wait a second. So Jason doesn't have his mask yet, and we're 41 minutes in.
Right. So at this version, and the one I'm watching, he is like gets it from like there's a hockey mask on a mannequin or something.
Yeah.
You know.
I thought this was the theater version. Maybe this is the Killer Cut version. I don't fucking remember.
Hey, I wanted to make my final point on Irishman. My thoughts were, I liked it. I think the biggest thing that hurts The Irishman is the films that preceded it. Right? When you're comparing it to Casino or Goodfellas or whatever, it's just, it makes it pale. And this kind of felt like a movie like Goodfellas without the action. That's what it kind of bummed me about, because it was, it was longer than Goodfellas, but you didn't have any of the whacks, the cool kills, the cool scenes.
Yeah, it didn't have the youthful vigor of those movies. It was very much old men, sitting around sort of reminiscing or sharing stories, and it's very character driven. And to be able to sit through a 3-hour movie that's character driven says something. I mean, definitely, you're just kind of like, this is it, like this is the last time we're going to get this incarnation, of actors and directors together, like Scorsese, Joe Pesci, and De Niro all together. It's the last time they're going to do it. I mean, come on. It's the last bullet they got in the chamber for this sort of thing. If you just allowed yourself to get sucked into the story and what was going on, I think that you could really enjoy it. But if you're looking for flashy action, like Casino or something, like, you're just not going to get it.
I also didn't really care for how the movie looked. It's got that that weird dingy fucking modern look. It looks gross. I just don't like it. And it doesn't even look like the other modern Scorsese movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just looked pretty low grade to me.
I think you could argue that the movies that came before it probably help it because you have that sort of esteem in terms of yeah, you know.
Yeah. No,
I liked Wolf of Wall Street better.
I actually don't love Wolf of Wall Street. I don't hate it. I think it's fine, but I didn't love it. Everybody was jerking that movie off like crazy. I'm like, I don't think it's great. I don't think it's amazing. It was all right. It wasn't as good as Departed. It wasn't as good as, Wolf of Wall Street's okay. I want to watch it again, but from my recollection, I'd say probably a 7.
Wolf of Wall Street.
I thought Departed was just okay.
You thought Departed was just okay? I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
That was great.
Departed. That one kind of loses me, man, because it's just I feel like it drags on.
It's a remake.
I love obviously Jack Nicholson. He did a great job, but I kind of felt like Wolf of Wall Street was a little bit smoother of a movie. I mean, it's a wild ride. So is Departed, but they're both kind of different, have a different sort of energy about them. But I don't know, maybe you like the intrigue of Departed more. It's more sort of like subverting your expectations left and right, whatever.
So, and I know Departed is a remake, but when I saw Departed in the theaters, and that's a long movie too. I don't think I've ever been that engaged in a movie I saw in the theaters, like edge of my seat. Like I wasn't bored for 1 second and I was into it. Wolf of Wall Street, I think for me, I don't really feel that the stakes of the story and the character justify how big the movie is. Like, I don't think it's, you know what I mean? The stakes were way crazier in like The Departed, right? You got the two spies, the two moles, and, you know, the constant suspense of, you know, each other finding each other out and that whole thing. That's keeping you going. I mean, what did the Wolf of Wall Street do? Embezzling the money and playing the abusing the market.
The only suspense I remember from Departed was like, oh man, this fucking Norma Bates gonna show her tits. I hope. That's all I remember.
Yeah, that's right.
I always thought about like, Wolf of Wall Street is like Scorsese's take, the way that he showed off like criminals in the mob of the era that, you know, like the 40s, 50s. He's just doing the same thing, but showing it for the 80s, you know? So it's just exploiting, you know, that sort of criminality in a movie, you know? So.
I want to watch it again. All I really remember is the scene where he was doped up, you know, which was what a lot of people were talking about.
That scene's fucking great.
I'll have to watch it again. I have it.
It's good.
I'll check it out. What was
I watched another movie that people have been talking up a lot. I watched The Lighthouse last night.
That movie got snubbed. I mean, that movie got snubbed from the big popularity contest.
Dude, I was like really looking forward to that, and it just didn't connect with me. Like I was just disappointed.
It did nothing for me either.
I was like, this is a big like fucking pretentious, boring fucking movie, man.
It was like, okay, it's obviously metaphorical. I'm sitting there the whole time like, okay, what can the lighthouse represent? What does this represent? And I'm having ideas. I'm thinking I know where it's going, and then like by the end of it, I'm like, I have no fucking clue.
With that, I mean,
the performances were good. Don't get me wrong, but it's just fucking beating itself off the whole time. You know what I mean? Like it was just.
I mean, I'll watch it eventually, so no spoilers. But I mean, obviously, The Witch was a fucking artsy fartsy pretentious movie too, right? But at least I felt like watching that a second time. I literally watched The Witch. I started it right over. I watched it back to back. I was like, I gotta watch this again. But
it's another movie you gotta have the fucking subtitles on too.
Oh, really?
You know exactly what's being said.
Mumbling those accents they got. But is this one of those crazy like art house fucking movies where it just kind of abruptly ends, where your average person is gonna go, "What the fuck? That's it"? Doesn't really have a real ending, and
maybe
I don't know. It doesn't really appeal to me. That movie got snubbed from the popularity contest, and also Uncut Gems got 0 Oscars. Like I
have to see that one still, but
I feel like Adam Sandler shot himself in the foot by going on Stern and saying, "I better get an Oscar for this, or I'm gonna do a lot of fucking bad movies. I'm gonna do Jack and Jill 3."
I think he's gonna have to dig himself out of a hole for a while, I think, to be taken seriously. I mean, how many years ago was it he did Jack and Jill, you know?
If he's fucking smart, he'll just be like, I'm just gonna start doing movies with people like this from now on. I'm just gonna try to like care about what I'm
But
doing.
it's funny because he's almost done this before. You know, he dipped his toe in with Paul Thomas Anderson. He did Punch Drunk Love, which I don't think is a great movie, by the way. It's not my cup of tea. It's okay. It's whatever. But a lot of people liked it. So that was like his moment. And then he did another drama. He did a couple of dramas, but then he goes back and he jumps into the pool of Jack and Jill and shit.
I think he gets bored or something, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't know. I can't hate him for making those movies though, because all he's doing is he's fucking making sure him and his buddies have a fucking job and are getting paid for like a couple weeks.
No, I'm not knocking him, but I'm just saying. And then he does this whole Netflix deal, and he has a whole bunch of shitty Netflix movies too that are comedy. I don't know. And then he comes back. I feel like, what is this, like 20 years later after Punch Drunk Love? And then now he's got this movie. I feel like if he would have followed Punch Drunk Love up with Uncut Gems, a movie like that, maybe it would have been a different story. But I mean, Uncut Gems was his best performance he's ever done.
I don't even like fuck the Oscars. Like, does anybody really care anymore? Like,
No.
there's more awards shows. It's probably gonna win.
Who cares anyway? I mean, it's a popularity contest, and the fact that
They didn't acknowledge the last Brothers movie either. The Good Time.
yeah,
They didn't give that anything.
I don't know,
The
any
what?
award. Good Time, the Rob Pattinson movie with the Sadfi brothers.
oh, yeah. I remember that one. Yeah.
That's a good one too. But no, any award ceremony where you have to put your name in the ballot, right? So, and you have to physically campaign the movie. You have to choose for your consideration, all that shit, just to please a whole bunch of old men that are sitting on, you know, it's really stupid. It's dumb.
Well, I mean, the show itself isn't even that good anymore. They don't even have hosts. It's just the whole thing's just gone so downhill with the whole political speeches and the grandstanding and the jerking off. It's just,
You know, it's funny.
it used to be like glamorous and kind of fun, and then see people get their wins, and maybe a newbie got their first Oscar, and it was kind of, yeah, I always enjoyed watching the Oscars as a kid growing up and stuff. And I just watched the decline of the whole thing over the last like 6 years has been getting considerably more worse as the years go on. That you can even just really sit back and enjoy it as a stupid thing, you know?
How many people are on the committee that vote? I mean, think about it. It's like you have somebody that may or may not be that great, but they got lucky, and you know, the majority of how many people? 5, 10? I don't know how many people vote. Like, I think Jennifer Lawrence, when she won that Oscar, and then we saw nothing but Jennifer Lawrence movies for like a solid year. She
won an Oscar for what?
She's a shit actress. And you know what?
Dude, because she was sitting on fucking Weinstein's pole.
Dude, she is a shit actor. I don't care who the fuck likes her and wants to criticize.
Yeah, she's a bad actress. Dude,
she's not a very good actress, right? And here's I mean, whatever. I get it. Easier said than done. I'm not acting, but I'm saying in the grand scope of things and compared to all her peers, she's not a good actress. And
I absolutely agree, man.
she won an Oscar.
I think it was
No, she won for that fucking that movie, the David O. Russell movie. What was it? The Christian Bale? What's the fucking one? Amy Adams, Christian Bale. I saw it in theaters, unfortunately.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I can't think of. See, that's the thing. It's like you don't even remember the goddamn movie.
Yeah. And who's the other fucking guy?
It was a 70s flick, right?
Yeah, Bradley Cooper was in it. Yeah, it was, you know, like FBI and money bullshit, whatever. But her character,
Want to be a Scorsese movie?
yeah, it was such a small part. She won the supporting Oscar, obviously, but she played like the wife of one of the main characters. I don't remember who, but she played the wife, and she was in a couple of scenes, and she was super obnoxious, and she put on the worst fucking like Bronx accent.
She was trying to do her fucking Sharon Stone from Casino.
Yeah,
moment,
no,
you know?
exactly. It was Sharon Stone Casino, and she was doing the worst fucking like Bronx accent I've ever heard in my life. It was so obnoxious, and it wasn't even on point. And she was just overselling it. And I'm like, and they gave her an Oscar for that. It had nothing to do with the fact that she was, you know, the it girl at the time, making all those fucking Catching Fire and what are those fucking movies she was making?
Amy Adams is usually good in movies she's in. She was in a movie with her and won an Oscar.
I don't like her at all, but
If she's the one I'm thinking of.
she Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper did a movie together that I thought was actually pretty good.
Silver Linings Playbook. I saw that
Yeah,
one
yeah.
too. It was all right.
I mean, that because it was just more tempered, and you know, it was just a character movie. But when she tries to like go for something too big, it just sucks.
Dude,
you know, like
Well, I think if you're gonna win the high honor, right, of an Academy Award that's going to pretty much make your career for a while if you play your money right. It has to be a performance with some range, man. Dude, she was in like 2 scenes in the movie and she just went full retard the whole scenes, yelling, obnoxious fake New York accent, throwing pots at her husband, the abusive housewife, right? Calling a bunch of names. And it was like 2 scenes of that. I'm like, there's no range.
I'm telling you, dude, it's all Weinstein's, fucking Harvey Weinstein's influence. That was right before he fucking, became a social pariah or whatever.
Dude, she must have gave him anal. She snowballed his shit. She did, I don't know. She tossed his salad. She did everything, I guess.
Yeah, she was the new Gwyneth Paltrow. You know what I mean? Like,
and Well, do you think Gwyneth Paltrow, that was the reason why she, because of him?
I'm just saying Gwyneth Paltrow is a no talent hack too. I mean, she won the Oscar for
Shakespeare in Love.
That terrible Shakespeare in Love. Yeah, terrible fucking movie that beat fucking Saving Private Ryan for best movie. It's just Gwyneth Paltrow was just fucking riding that fucking knob.
And didn't that movie have a Ralph Fiennes? We don't ever see him anymore, right? The less successful, is he like Ray Fiennes? There's different, right? Ralph and Ray Fiennes are different. I don't know. It's a guy you don't see in movies very much anymore. But whatever. What's her face? Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean, she's whatever. She's fine, but she doesn't strike me as.
She should have won an Oscar for Shallow Hal.
I just don't see how she's special. In a movie like Seven, it's like, was what she did in the movie Seven really that demanding? Playing the concerned, stressed housewife.
She's got really limited range. Let's just put it that way.
I'll say that. Yeah, no, exactly. Even in the fucking Marvel movies, she's not. You don't see her doing a lot of action. You don't see her screaming. You don't see her crying. It's just like, hey, I'm the assistant of Tony Stark. Until obviously they're more than that. But she doesn't really. It doesn't really go anywhere. I don't know. I don't get it sometimes.
She's got that new vagina scented candle out. Apparently, did you see that?
Yeah, I don't even understand that. I don't get that.
You want your fucking room to smell like pussy all the time.
She's become like a big mainstream snake oil salesman all of a sudden.
Yeah,
which is really bizarre.
Charlatan,
selling all these weird bullshit products to
so stupid
people that can't afford it. It's really strange.
What's the equivalent to like, I think dude actors, they can have qualities that women actors can't have. Like women have to do, you don't really say, that female actress, she oozes charisma and has a lot of charm. You could say that about guys, right? Certain actors, Sean Connery in his older movies, like certain guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the equivalent for a woman to have? What do they have to be that extra something?
Be good actress, I'd say.
I don't know. Julia Roberts was the America's sweetheart for a while. Then she got old.
I think, she made some good flicks, so she really tested the waters, I mean, she was a little bubblegummy, mainstreamy, but
I can't think of any movies.
There's been some really good actresses out there who've really contributed. I mean, say what you want about Meryl Streep, but she can lay down a performance, man. She really can.
But her movies aren't good. She might be able to act,
yeah, but dude, I mean, we don't have to like the movies, but she can't. I mean, I've seen her give some really good performances, So it's not really fair to judge her acting ability off whether or not I like the movie, but
no, I mean, she's in one of my favorite movies of all time, Death Becomes Her. That's one of my most. That's one of my most rewatchable. That's such a rewatchable movie. I can watch that movie.
The most NPC movie ever made.
I think it's such a great fucking movie, man. Have you ever seen it, Zach?
No.
You've never seen it? That's my next choice for cinema enema. Fuck yeah.
No, I used to watch it as a kid, I guess.
It's a great flick, man. Well, what's funny is that's an outlying type of movie for Meryl Streep. That's not the kind of movie she normally did. And after making that movie with Zemeckis, she said she'll never do it again because that was her first foray into making something a little bit more whimsical and working with green screen and shit like that and special effects. And that's just not her kind of acting. Fair enough. She'll go and do the Iron Lady or whatever. But I love that movie. I think, I don't know. I think pound for pound, as far as all those like commercialized mainstream directors, I love Zemeckis films. I mean, you got The Back to the Future. You got Who Framed Roger Rabbit, man. You got
Twilight Zone.
You got the movie we're just talking about. He's got a flavor on it. I get it. He was an underling of Spielberg, and there's kind of a similarity to their styles, but I can pick apart a Zemeckis film.
Spielberg's a fucking hack. Fuck Spielberg.
Spielberg has kind of lost his touch. I mean,
He hasn't made a good movie in a long time.
I think I was even talking about this in one of my videos or something. Like, I was talking in my Irishman review. I was talking about, Scorsese has managed to maintain his integrity as a director. I think he probably makes less films as Spielberg, but every movie he does is like always brings his A game. But Spielberg, man, like he got like what? Like right around the AI era, like he started to really lose it. They got AI and BFG, and
that was originally supposed to be a Kubrick movie too.
Would have been probably amazing as a Kubrick movie.
Yeah. And I never saw it, but every adaptation from Philip K. Dick is going to automatically have some kind of promise. But I never watched it. I never watched AI.
Ready Player One was
dude,
it's a blur of fucking shit.
All right, so he goes back and forth, right? He goes back and forth from doing Jurassic Park blockbuster to Munich, right? To a drama, to Schindler's List, to fucking E.T., right? He goes back and forth. I don't think he's made a good movie since Catch Me If You Can, which I loved.
Yeah, it was a good movie,
It didn't. He did that, right? That was Spielberg.
Yeah,
that was a really good movie. Which, that's a better Leo.
I mean, but it's not a memorable movie. I mean, we like it, but the average person on the street's not gonna. They wouldn't even list it in their top 6 fucking Spielberg movies.
Probably not. I really liked it though. I watched Ready Player One at the gym because they have like a theater cinema room that you go do your cardio in. And I went in there and I watched most of it. I watched like an hour and a half of it and it was fucking drivel. It was not good. I had a hard time believing this was a Spielberg movie. It seemed like just it would blend right in with anybody else that puts out a shitty blockbuster out.
It's just the same thing with BFG. BFG was fucking horrible.
I didn't see that one.
So boring.
Big fucking guy.
Incredibly boring movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fucking giant or something. I don't know.
Yeah, big fucking gun. That's in Doom. Yeah, the BFG. No, but yeah, I saw it and it didn't feel like a Spielberg movie. It felt like this could have been a summer blockbuster by Brett Ratner or whatever fuck director you want to fill in the place with. It didn't feel like it had the, I don't know, outside of all the pop cultural references from his own movies, and other people's movies.
Would you Brett his Ratner?
No.
Why?
Because his career's done, right? He's done. Brett Ratner got caught up in all that shitstorm of the Me Too shit. And I think what's his face too? The guy why can't I think of his name? X-Men. What's his fucking name? The gay guy.
Bryan Singer.
Is he done too?
I don't think we've seen the last of him, honestly.
His last movie swept the Oscars, the Queen movie.
Why?
That movie sucked.
That's a popularity contest too. To me, the Queen movie was fine. It was just par for the course of a biopic. It's like, okay, they took a lot of liberties. They moved a lot of shit around so they can make a narrative. It was
Rocket Man was Rocket Man was way better than the Queen biopic.
They were on par. They were on par. I liked Rocket Man. They were fine. Queen, it was fun. I could sit down and watch the Queen movie and it's all right. I know the Queen history and I know all the fucking mistakes and shit in there. And I don't know. It's just, you got to turn your mind off. There's never been a biopic. I think the biopic that did it the most right, to my limited knowledge, was The Doors. And I don't even like that movie that much, but I'm like, I think they got Jim Morrison pretty good. But yeah, it's just a biopic for you.
Oh, the best portrayal of Jim Morrison was in Wayne's World 2.
Yeah. I like the way I said it better. Okay.
Did you guys know that producer Michael Bay walked out in the movie premiere, stating that the movie featured too much sex? That's the best part about it, and that's why he walked out. What a fucking bitch.
I'm surprised Michael Bay attended a Platinum Dunes premiere. I'm surprised he gives the time.
He's a fuck boy.
I love watching that that crash and burn that he had with he was like,
oh yeah,
the TV thing,
the teleprompter.
He was like supposed to go out and give a talk about these new curved 4K TVs, and I guess he went out there and he just completely seized up and had like a panic attack.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, it was just like
Panic attacks are nothing to fuck with. Just like the Wu-Tang Clan.
No, I'm not criticizing him for that, but it was just like this guy's like a huge like Hollywood director. Like, what happened? You know?
If that was the truth, he should have said, "Hey, I had anxiety or whatever." No, but he blamed it on a prompter. He said the prompter was, it wasn't going to the right place. It didn't say his lines or whatever. But if that was the case, be a professional and give him a moment, or improvise or something.
Yeah, I mean,
you fooled, you can't get fooled again. See, what was the point of a fucking curved TV? I never got that. Yeah, it's curved.
They're dying out. Curved for your pleasure.
I don't want a curved TV.
Yeah.
Curb your enthusiasm.
There's nothing about that appeals to me. Why would you, unless you're going to be sitting like 12 inches away from it, like, why would you want one?
It's curved, man. It's more realistic.
No, it's just, if your mom was doing the dishes in the kitchen and she wants to watch the TV from 50 feet away from an angle, she's not going to lose any picture. It's so niche. Like, most TVs are not in a room big enough to really justify any kind of like utility like that. It's kind of stupid. And I think now they're, those are ones that are getting clearanced out. But I think like the OLED screens, the QLEDs or whatever they're doing, those are putting those out of the market anyway, like stuff you could see from all angles in a flat.
Dude, it's crazy how like cheap TVs are getting now. You get a TV during fucking Black Friday, you get like a 65-inch fucking 4K TV for like $400 or $500. It's crazy.
Yeah. But you don't want those doorbuster Black Friday TVs.
Why? They're just bad quality.
Well, so you can find good deals around Black Friday, but the doorbusters, the special deals, the ones that are like really cheap, you don't want those, man, because they order those and the manufacturers push those out just for Black Friday. Like they're shitty for a reason. And then when Black Friday's over, they get sent back to the manufacturer. Those are not TVs you can buy throughout the year. You know what I mean? They make special Black Friday TVs to sell for cheap. And the average person sees, oh man, a 55, a 60-inch, whatever TV for only this much money. They don't really look at the specs.
You're telling me these companies are dishonest?
Yeah, but I'm saying like the average person, I'm not knocking it. Like my parents were those kind of people. Most people are like that. Oh, I want a big TV. They don't really care about the brand. They just see a big TV and that's what they want. They don't care about refresh rate. They don't care about all that stuff. But yeah, you got to watch out for stuff like that. But they are getting really cheap. And now I'm kind of a stickler now. Like I don't want anything that's under 120 refresh rate, because right now most of the TVs are 60 or 120. You can get
if things look too smooth, I'm like, fuck this.
No,
this isn't a movie. I'm watching the behind the scenes footage from the movie.
But you can turn off all that fucking motion blur bullshit. But there's a difference, man. Like I've got a TV that's a 60 refresh rate, and I've got one that's 120. It's no comparison watching movies. It's night and day. I mean, the other one's totally fine. It's totally passable. I watch it in my bedroom all the time. But like if I really want a cinema experience with like some audio and popcorn and it's a new movie and a 4K, I'm going to watch it on the other one. It just doesn't compare. But whatever. Those are cheap.
People bring up this scene and act like this scene makes this movie worth it just because this scene. What's the line he says?
I don't know. Something douchey.
The perfect nipple. The perfect nipple placement.
Perfect nipple placement. Yeah.
That's who wrote
that?
That's what I'm saying too.
Who wrote that? That has to be like fucking some kid in middle school. Never saw a pair of tits.
He's trying to outdouche the boyfriend from Freddy vs. Jason, right? Like, what was that guy? What did he say to what's her face after they had sex? Like, go take a shower. Did he make her take a shower or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Babe, don't make me ask you twice. That guy. That I want to see a whole movie of that guy. That guy was too douchey to last more than 5 minutes. He was too much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what do you say? Oh, after they had sex and she was like trying to cuddle, she's like, babe, you know I don't like to be touched. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That guy was awesome.
Yeah, fucking beta. Fucking not gonna cuddle with Catherine and Isabel.
This guy looks like skinny young Candyman. Tony Todd.
Fuck yeah. He looks like the Black Ranger, Zach. My favorite Power Ranger because we shared a name.
He's missing a finger, by the way.
Why?
I saw him in years later in an interview, and he's missing his middle finger. And I was like, what the fuck happened to him since Power Rangers ended? But then I went back and I watched the old episodes on Netflix, and he was missing a finger then too. They just like always uniquely cut, they never showed it, but I caught it in a couple of frames because either he hit it with his finger display, or he was always clenching a fist or something. But yeah, he's missing a fucking finger even in those old days. I don't know what happened. But he's got a big fucking space where his middle finger should be. I guess if you have to miss a finger, that's the one to miss.
He flipped off his parents, and they were like, "How fucking dare you? I'll make it so you can never do that again." Did you ever get threatened like that by your parents? You ever flip them off?
Yeah, they usually made good on threats too. No, I never flipped my parents off. Dude, I didn't have a death wish, man. I was trying to fight for my life anyway.
Beta.
Were you one of those Eric Cartman type of kids? No, dude, you loved your parents, dude. You're a little golden boy.
One time I cussed and my mom made me fucking drink dish soap, and I got sick and she felt bad. Pretty donk.
I did that. I got dish soap one time.
Never happened to me more than once because I got sick from it.
I didn't have to swallow it though. Like the second it hit my tongue, I fucking reacted like, bleh. It just that was about it. Like I didn't really swallow anything.
I don't think I was supposed to swallow it either. I just did.
Yeah. Well, then that's your own damn fault.
I mean, why fucking waste it? It's already in your mouth.
Zach, Josh, what's the most you ever got punished, man? Let's give us a story of your youth. What's the most trouble you ever got into?
Oh man, I think I got spanked more than anything. I got spanked. I got ass whoopings with actual objects, like makeshift paddles. Like a spatula.
You have to pick your you have to pick your own switch off the tree.
Never had to, because I didn't have a dad around. It was like more mom.
Yeah. Moms are fans of the hands and paddles, spoons, wooden spoons.
That,
yeah.
I got soap in the mouth. I got grounded a lot. I got I got a lot of guilt trips, which are probably the worst. Psychological torture,
Did your mom ever catch you with dirty magazines? Did you ever get that? You ever get caught with dirty mags? Skin mags?
No, I never got caught. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of it around until I was probably in like late high school, and then at that point, I was pretty good at hiding shit. And I just didn't have a lot. I mean, we didn't have internet in the house. Dirty magazines, I probably had one. And, we would have like one like Sherry magazine, and we'd share it. So you probably only have it in your house for like a couple of weeks, and your friend would ask for it, and you'd hand it off, You know
how disgusting that is now thinking about it? The sharing magazine? That's so fucking
Oh, yeah.
gross.
But, dude, that was amazing because that's we leveled up from fucking, just straight up Playboy magazine to, high society, cherry, whatever. It's like you actually get that fucking dick and the nut in there, like it was a game changer, dude.
Dude, high society, club magazine, and even to a degree Penthouse, right? Those were just, that was the darker side of the tracks from the Playboys.
Yeah, I mean, and then like me and my friend John would go to this movie rental place that would rent us pornos, and we were only like 15, 16. And we would go to his parents' house. They weren't around very much, so we would just copy them. So we had like 3 pornos on one, blank VHS tape or whatever, and we had it labeled "Who Framed Roger Rabbit." We just me and like 3 of my buddies, we just like share this tape for like months, like just passing it around.
Did you fucking jizz on it like Blood Brothers, but cum brothers?
Well, the beauty of a VHS tape is that it's inside a VCR, so you don't have to really worry about getting your nut on it. But
I mean, but you gotta hope that they wash their hands before taking the tape out. Just wash your hands. The funny thing,
I don't think you really think about that too much when you're a teenager. You still don't give a fuck,
You would have went in right after your friend, tag teaming a chick probably.
I'm pretty sure one of the movies on there was Sorority Sex Kittens like 3 or something like that.
Oh, the best in the fucking series.
Yeah. Zach would know. Every now and then I'll go back and try to find like one of those old clips from like one of those movies, It's definitely like late 80s, because this would have been the 90s. Before every house had like a fucking computer in it type deal.
So, and I'm not endorsing pornography, but to just
pussy.
Listen, I'm not, but I will say this. the kids today, they're missing something by not working for anything, right? It's like everybody, like we talked about it with kids getting parented. They're handed iPhones and iPads from a young age. And how do you really think parents are really monitoring and filtering and putting locks on? No, they're looking at whatever the fuck they want for the most part. Now, us, it was like a rite of passage if you had that one dirty Skin magazine that you kept under your bed or whatever, right? And it's just you had to work for that. You found it in the woods, or a friend gave it to you, or something. So I think you appreciated it a little more. I don't think we were, with the amount of work we had to put in to just get a little bit of intel on the opposite sex and that stuff. We didn't get too tainted. We weren't allowed to get too fucking tainted from pornography. You know what I mean? There was no rabbit hole to go down. It's like, I found an old Playboy or whatever. What's the rabbit hole? Oh my God, I'm going to go to the gas station and I'm going to buy a Hustler. No, you couldn't. I'm going to go online. I'm going to download some donkey porn. I can't.
Well, dude, there was a time in my life where you had to just suck it up. Get a bunch of cash and walk down to the porn store and buy tape, and like just face the fucking music, like you had to walk in the door, spend time walking around picking out something and then laying it down on the counter to the porno guy or girl, by the way.
Like you're really shopping, like this cover's really selling me, and you have to ask the counter, like, what's your opinion? Like, have you seen this one? Give me recommendations.
One time I rented a fucking it was like a porno parody of the Munsters, and it showed people
the Cumsters.
It showed people on the back. They were covered in green glow in the dark paint, and they were fucking. I'm like, I gotta watch this. This looks fucking hilarious.
That actually does sound amazing.
I took it to rent it, and it was me and Mac. He's like, I don't want to. You gotta take it and rent it. There was a chick up there, and I rented it one time, and they accidentally gave me the bonus disc that didn't have the movie itself on it, but like a bunch of like random clips. Man. So then I had to bring it back and tell them, you gave me the wrong disc. I want the green painted pussy and shit like that. And so it's a girl this time, and I'm like, yeah, it's not the right disc. It's like the bonus disc. And she's like, well, one of the guys I work with rented this not that long ago, and he was not dissatisfied. He was really liking it. You sure it's the wrong disc? I'm like, yeah, it's the bonus disc. And yeah, that was awkward.
Her coworker liked it so much he kept the fucking real movie.
Yeah, she found the real one. I saw that green puss.
Was it called the Cumsters? What was it called?
It was just called the Munsters.
The Munsters.
The Munsters or something. I don't know what was worse though. I never really felt that weird, like putting the tape on the counter and paying for it, because like they work in there every day. They expect it. But like you're in there, I think what's creepy is like the other dudes like lurking around, in the porno store, and it's a really fucking nasty vibe, man,
Yeah, that's got to be the weird. I've never done that, but that's got to be the weirdest part, right? Whoever's in the store with you.
It's kind of like when you walk up next to a dude at the urinal. It's like that times almost like 1,000, It's like it's just awkward as fuck, but
like what were you ever shopping in a particular section and the guy was also in that section, like right next to you, looking at similar videotapes?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, and you're just like, just don't. It's like they're just an avatar.
No small talk, just like the urinal. No small talk.
I mean, I guess there would be times when you could like break the ice and like laugh about something, but it's so incredibly awkward. You know what I mean? And then you're like picking up these, because like they didn't even have DVDs yet, so like you pick up these. Like back in the day, the VHS porno cassettes came in these giant, oversized boxes. Like, they're not just a slipcover on a VHS. I'm talking about they're like had an extra like an inch and a half, 2 inches around.
They had to be that big to fit in the lotion that you got with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
They don't even give you lotion anymore. No complimentary lotion.
But oh man, like 90s fucking porno buying was harsh, man. Like you just had to suck it up. Go in there and get in and get out. You know what I mean? Like,
well, even if people actually want their stuff physical, I mean, everything's digital. No one's going to pay for. How many people really pay for porn? If it's whatever. But Zach could probably tell me. But even if you wanted to buy physical product or toys or whatever, now you can order online and it'll arrive at your house, discreet packaging. Like there's no threat anymore. There's no danger element to it. It's all given to you.
I had a huge box of VHS porn. from like when I used to buy them, but also when I worked at Playboy, they would have like these huge sales like every other Friday of overstock. So they would sell it to the employees. So they have tables of just stacks of VHS and DVD porno. And you could buy it for like cents on the dollar. You know what I mean? Just really, because normally pornos would be like $30 to $50, you know, for like just a really average porno. Because it was just, you know, in demand or whatever. But they would sell it to you for like $5 a tape or something. So I had a crazy fucking box of porno. And I ended up giving a lot of it away to this girl.
Homeless guy? Oh,
that was a friend of mine.
See, it's a good thing it's so readily available. You shouldn't have to be embarrassed because you want to bust a nut. That's a right that we all have. We should
I guess it's better than going out and like.
My point is though, is that you had like he was saying, you had to work for it. You had to like fucking.
You got to work for the internet. You got to pay the internet bill.
Pull up your britches, strap your boots, fucking walk in the door like a man, and fucking buy that shit, you know. But yeah, now you just fucking 2 clicks away from seeing the most depraved shit, and then you end up with like motherfuckers like Zach over here.
Hell yeah.
Who, because of the internet, we have, you know, those sub websites, those kink websites. The underbelly's exposed a little bit more, right? And there's a lot. I think the underbelly and these like social circles that are into the weird shit, they're just bigger because they have a place to network and whatnot. And just like innocent stuff, like buying sex toys, I would honestly bet that things like women having vibrators is way more common today. Like
oh yeah, because they could just order that shit on Amazon now, you know.
They can order on Amazon and it comes in discreet packaging, and you don't have to. So you know, all the danger is gone. Nobody has to go into a physical store. Nobody has to buy anything. I want to say 9 out of the 10 girls I've met or dated, they had vibrators. And I bet you, now I wasn't really dating 20 years ago, but I bet you 20 years ago, that wasn't the case. People were getting hands on, if you know what I mean.
When they came out, they were too afraid to even call it what it was. They were like, oh no, it's a magic wand massager.
Dude, I think no, that's not true, because I was dating girls in the 90s who had fucking that shit. And they were just walking into stores like we used to have to walk in the stores to buy porno. They were walking in the stores to buy whatever vibrating little gizmo would get them off, you know, whatever. They were definitely still buying. I think dildos were more like just the thing that you would see, but vibrating shit started coming in probably in the late 90s.
Everybody realized, wait a second, I can get off with just clit stimulation.
I think vibrators came out in like the 60s or 70s or something.
No, they've been around for a while, but I'm just saying, like, you could just walk into a sex shop and buy one off the shelf, you know. So they would have to like pony up and just do it.
Why all the hate for the big oversized dildo that's about 20 times bigger than scale?
I saw this fucking video of a fucking huge ass like fucking tree trunk dildo, and this chick was sitting on it and taking the whole thing. Fucking crazy.
I remember.
I was like, Emilio.
Do you think that's a physical stimulation or like a mental, like, oh, I could take it kind of thing? You know?
I don't know.
Probably a little bit of column A, column B, right? Probably a little both.
Like you just build up to that, you know, like you're stretching it out, like just seeing. Is it bragging rights? Is it?
I would brag.
You should try, you know, getting some butt plugs and stretching that fucking hole out, Zach.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? You know who I think, though? I think it's probably more about the guys that they're selling it to that get off to it. That, you know, the visual side of it.
Hell yeah.
What?
I think it's...
That logic doesn't track. What do you mean?
I'm saying, like, if somebody was making a video, like a commercial video, it's probably who they're getting off on the other side of that video. It's got to be. Like, I could see a guy being really into something really ginormous going up some chick's ass or whatever, then something that's ginormous actually going in the chick's ass herself. I don't know. I just doesn't sound like it'd be fun to me. I'm just trying to justify it somehow. I don't see how it could be fun or it could feel good.
Yeah, I could see what you're doing.
It feels good because it stimulates your fucking prostate, baby.
What about those?
Feels amazing.
You see those? They're just like arms with a fist on the end.
Yeah.
I've seen those.
They're funny. Yeah, I've seen those. I remember back in the day of HBO having shows like Pimps Up, Hose Down, and Taxi Cab Confessions. I remember watching one of those blocks, and they also had like a little mini documentary where they were talking about it was about the making of dildos, and they had the guys or porn actors or whatever making the plaster cast in the factory, and it's really what they do. It's like they'll plaster cast somebody's junk. Maybe it's a 6 or 7 or 8 inch dick or whatever, and then but the one you see on the market is like blown up about 5 times scale. Like those dildos, those big ones you see. There's no dick in the world that are really that big. They take a regular dick and they just blow it up. Which I don't know. You would think that would ruin it for some chicks. It's like, well, no, there's no guy that could come close to this fucking like Hulkamania cock. He's like, I'm just gonna stick with this. I don't know. I don't really know how it works. I've never taken a dick, but what?
Oh, don't lie. You took mine.
I think it's just like fantasy, like, guys see a chick with fake tits and a perfect ass, or, it's a fantasy that gets them off, but they don't really have that expectation in their real life for the most part. They're happy with what they can get their hands on. I think it's probably the same thing with your average girl who probably has a fantasy of, taking a giant fucking horse cock, as
That's
a fantasy.
what I'm saying.
But
like, how do you ladies feel out there that are listening? I know there's a few of you. How does it make you feel knowing the only people or only things that could actually live up to that standard are horses? Are you thinking about horses when you're doing it? Because that's the only.
That's your fucking disease, baby. I can live up to that standard.
Okay. I don't know, Zach. You kind of come off like a guy that's got a small dick. I don't know. I've met a lot of guys in my life.
Oh, it's magically small.
One of those guys that's really tall, but they're not really representing down there.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
You'd be shocked, dude. You go to the gym and you see like this little fucking 4'5" Poindexter or whatever, and he's got a massive hog. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'd be swinging that shit around all day long. But no wonder this guy doesn't want to work out. He doesn't have to.
Exactly. That's why I don't.
Okay. Well, on that note, I'm gonna read some comments. I think was this movie almost done? Probably.
We're about an hour and a half in, so yeah, get close.
So I don't know, Zach. What's the timestamp on? I can't see times on Window Media Player because that's what I'm watching.
We got 12 minutes left.
Fuck. Okay, well then I'm going to read some questions. So last week we put out a Cinema Enema, the first one in a couple of months, so we didn't have a traditional episode because, well, we didn't think about having to juggle Cinema Enema and new episodes in the holiday season, so whatever. But we're back to business as normal now, but we're going to read some questions. Ishmael Premier, Seed of Chucky, he says, credit cards, man, the necessary evil. He's kind of talking about when we were having our chat, because you were talking about, what do you need to do to build credit? And you were talking about your guitar woes and all that shit. And we were talking about all that stuff. It does suck, man. Credit cards, if you know how to use them, they can really save your ass. If you use them for what they're for, they can be a good thing, but you got to be careful with that shit.
If you got an itch in your ass crack, they're really good at swiping and fucking itching that itch.
I bet. Did you ever get anywhere with that guitar? Did you get your money back?
I finally did, and now fucking taxes are coming. I'll probably just fucking go and get the fucking the one that's like $130 more with the cutaway.
Yeah, from an actual from a store, right? Where you can actually have some return rights and get a receipt and blah, blah, blah. I'd rather do that anyway. I mean, there's certain things where it's just worth it to buy new. I mean, if it's only so much money more.
Can I ask you, Zach, real quick? Like, why? I don't want to get you too much off track, but real quick, why? That's a really expensive, like, nice acoustic guitar. Like, are you just looking for the quality of the instrument? Or are you looking for a better playability?
Since I started, I remember I went to fucking Guitar Center and I played the Triple O, and I was like, someday I'm gonna have that guitar.
It was a Wayne Campbell moment. She will be mine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then,
okay. That's okay.
And then whenever my current acoustic guitar, the fucking tuning machines broke, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get some new tuning machines. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it's just time to get that fucking guitar I always wanted. And so I was gonna get that, and then now it's just like, I'll just upgrade to the fucking the version with the cutaway. It's the same guitar, but
you might as well. My opinion on instruments is, don't if you if you're somebody that's never played before and you want to see if you're going to really be into it, yeah, get a cheap one, whatever. But your second instrument, Zach, you've been playing for years, so you know you're going to keep playing at least from a hobby standpoint. If you get these $500, $600, or $700 guitars, you're going to constantly be losing money. They're never going to resell for shit. Do something like you could buy something of quality that, just over north of $1,000, anywhere from the one to,
True.
Yeah, from the one.
I agree with you on that for sure. If you go over the $1,000 mark on a guitar, it's never going to go down in volume because the quality of the instrument's only going to go.
But it's also, you're also going to hit a certain threshold of quality, like a guitar that's good enough. Like, okay, I've got two main. Well, I got an acoustic guitar. My Taylor was about $1,500-$1,600 that I talked down a few $100. There's Taylor guitars that are $3,000 and $4,000. I don't fucking need them. Like, me being at the range I was at, that's totally fine. It's probably in the same ballpark as the Martin you're getting, right? Same playing field. I have a custom shop Ernie Ball that I paid my left nut for because it was custom. I literally paid like $4,000 for it. Now, as I've gotten older, I've had that thing for fucking 14 years now. That thing is sentimental. I bought that when I was like 18 years old, and I saved for like fucking 4 months, 5 months, and then I put all the money down, and then I had to wait like 4 months for it to get finished. So, but as I've gotten older, I realized, why is that thing so expensive? I mean, it's a really nice guitar, but does it really justify the cost? You realize you're paying extra money for the paint job, the headstock, these little things that are all just material, right? I have another guitar that's a U.S. made a Fender. I got a Fender Jazzmaster, and it's American made, but it's basic. It's a beater guitar. It's the kind of guitar, if you were a touring musician, you take it on the road because it's going to be able to take a beating, and it's no frills. Like, it doesn't have any fancy. It doesn't have a piezo. It doesn't like my other guitar does. It has all this crazy shit. It doesn't even have I can't even put a whammy bar in it. Right? It's a rhythm machine. It's basic. That thing is fucking awesome, but it costs like fucking $1,200. And it sounds every bit as good as the other one. It just is limited. But if you don't want to do all that shit, what's the point?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I'm excited though. I've been waiting. I can't wait to get my hands on it and play.
That's a big level up, man. I'm happy for you. Hope you enjoy it.
It's gonna put hair on my balls. Finally.
Nice.
Hey, you know what though? Just think about this too. A lot of the famous records, they were played on pieces of shit guitars. A lot of big records. Eric Clapton, his famous Blackie guitar, he paid like $400 for, and he Frankensteined it. It was a Frankenstrat, right? He built it from pieces of shitty Strats. Eddie Van Halen's guitar, that was literally a Frankenstrat. It came from different models, different shit that he put together. Yeah. It literally cost a few $100. It was like a Kramer headstock with like a shitty Strat copy body and like probably a Fernandez neck or something. It was a bunch of weird shit. And then, it goes to show what getting like a Marshall amp and having it hot rodded will do for you to your sound. But no, and then Guns N' Roses, dude, that first Appetite record, dude, Slash, that main Les Paul that he had in the early days and what he did the first record with, that was a copy. It wasn't even real. It was a Les Paul copy. I think they used to make them in like fucking China, but it said Gibson, but it was fake. Master of Puppets, Metallica, dude, or the first couple of Metallica records. He was playing a Gibson V, a Flying V, but it was a copy. It's fake, and he still plays it to this day. It's all beat to shit. Sounds great, but it's a fucking copy. So, and those guys would get those because they wanted to play a V or an Explorer, and they wanted it to be, legit, but they didn't give a shit if it really was or not, if it played all right, and they could save like $2,000 on it. They did it.
I will say though that when it comes to acoustic guitars though, like, know where that extra money went, because playing a really expensive, nice acoustic is like butter. It's like, it's really, really nice sound, and it's easy action, because usually cheap acoustics are like the worst to play,
Yeah, the one I had was really hard to fret, like the first 3 frets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's a line there, obviously. That's why I'm saying over $1,000.
It's way easier to get like a shitty sounding like electric guitar sounding good too. Like to put like certain pickups in it that. Like, what are those EMGs? You put EMGs in a guitar, they're
too hot.
All pretty much basically sound the same.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
Is this I think the one I looked at was is the one that you're gonna get like an electric acoustic, or I mean an acoustic electric, like with the pickups in it, or
it's got that's another thing it has over the triple O. It's got a electric thing. I probably won't use that though. I'd probably just, if I wanted to play it in that setting, I just mic it.
You know what? I never use mine, and you pretty much you realize, oh wait, unless you're gonna go gig bars, you're never gonna use it. I mean, if you're just gonna play in your home, you don't fucking need the amplification on your acoustic. Yeah. I never use mine.
Here's to hoping that Zach releases a sweet fucking folk album next year or later this year or something.
Dog.
I think we should all collab on a record. We should start an band and trade files and add shit. I would do it. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
And we are all musicians,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you know what's funny? Like I said, there's a line there. Obviously, that's why I said over $1,000 or give or take. But you really do see the dip when you're like below a certain amount of money. You could buy a Fender Strat, right? But you're going to be like rolling the dice on it. Mm-hmm. The Fender Strats can be good or they can be shitty. The only thing
it depends on if it's a Mexican, Japanese, or American made.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Mexican Strat. I kept saying Fender Strat. A Mexi Strat is what I was trying to say. That's what I'm saying. You're rolling the dice. When you pay that extra money, that extra grand or whatever for an American Strat, you're paying for quality and consistency. That's it. I think with Mexican Strats,
they make them with cheaper parts and shit.
Yeah, but whoever assembled it, man, were they giving a fuck about their job that day? And it's just very inconsistent. You could find the same model, the same line, and one could play like butter and the other one could not. So I don't know. All my stuff's American made. I don't know. But I've played some good Mexican stuff. But I don't know. Anyway, like I was saying, there is a line there because, I've had certain people, like those people that do play like $800 guitars and they gig around and they're in like some kind of like punk band or like metal band where it's like they don't give a shit about like certain equipment. They're like, oh man, it's all in the fingers. I'm like, I agree with you to agree, man. But I'm saying if you have certain types of gear, it really does elevate your playing. If your guitar is easy to play, there's certain things. My music, man, it plays like fucking butter. Dude, strap on a fucking $1,500 Les Paul, and like it just feels like it effortless to, make chords on there or do any kind of action on the fretboard or whatever. Dude, I'm not a Gibson guy. I've played a Les Paul. They're too clunky, they're too bulky, and they're too meaty for me. But if I go from playing something like that all day or a different kind of guitar that is like that, and then I pick up my music, man, I just fly all over that fretboard like it's nothing. It feels like a baby's toy. I know the difference. So, and it should. For as much money as it costs, it better play like fucking butter. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me read a couple more questions before we end it here, though. But I'm serious about the band. Everybody who's listening should chime in. If we made an album, would you guys listen to it? So we could even start off and just do covers if you want. We can make the Mac and Zach sequel. What's that fucking record?
We got to write songs about fucking your mommy porn. We
got to do podcast theme songs. Why not? Like parody, like comedy shit. We should. You could do all the vocals, Zach, because you and Mac are good at that. I'm shit at programming drums though. Anybody want to do that? Feel free.
It's a folk album. We don't need drums.
Okay, no drums,
Dude, Fiverr, man. Just go to Fiverr. They'll fucking flesh out your.
I got a buddy that's staying with me for the next 4 days, and he's coming here to jam and record. He's an old friend. He loves doing that stuff. Maybe I could ask him. He would do it. He's always looking for like hobby projects too. Anyway, Look Who's Talking Now commentary, Adrian Mendoza. We had been talking about Edward Furlong, and I had played a lot of audio clips from Edward Furlong's Cameo account because they're just kind of sad. And Adrian Mendoza, he comments, I feel bad for Eddie Furlong. Maybe he's just having a rough patch. Motherfucker, he's had a rough patch for 35 years. But no, I agree. He could be. Travolta has definitely hit the glory holes over the years, he says, because we were talking about all the Travolta gay stuff that's always gone around. He says, my favorite Travolta story was a few years ago when he was trying to pick up a straight guy at a gym in Florida at 3 a.m. Here's an article. I read the article, and it was fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
He was in a gym overnight, and it was just him.
I feel bad for Travolta, man. It's like he's in that fucked up religion, and he's got an image, and the studios want to make money off him. Don't you wish the guy could just come out and be gay? I mean, he embraced the fucking bald head, embraced the gayness, motherfucker.
Yeah, they must have some like Because, yeah, the way they work, they have you, like, do those audits where you basically tell them your deepest secrets and they record it all. So maybe he killed somebody when he was a teenager by accident. He doesn't want that to come out.
Right?
Maybe there is something over his head.
Very possible. Very possible.
But who knows? John Travolta comes from a different era. He comes from that Saturday Night Fever era, man. If John Travolta hit it big in the last 20 years, maybe he would have been comfortable. Like, yeah, I'll just come out. But he was a sex symbol back in the day, right? So maybe it's different. But I think maybe he's past the point of alienating any core audience. You know, but who knows? But I can't speak for how he's feeling in his head. I don't think that article necessarily makes him gay. I read the article. It is funny. But I was trying to debunk it. So he was in a gym, like a 24-hour gym, and there's just one other guy in the gym. And the only thing that maybe makes him sound gay is the guy's testimony. And that's his story. He was just saying he knew the vibes that he was putting off. So I just have to take his word for it. Like he was giving hit on vibes. But he said basically he came up to me. We're the only two guys in the gyms. He approached me. And he just put out his hand and he introduced himself, said, "Hi, I'm John." And then he just basically said, yeah, he's like, I knew what he was trying to do. But anyway, like he acted like he just sort of deflected it, but he got a picture.
Yeah, guys don't do that at the gym. Just normal guys.
Okay.
Fucking famous dudes don't do that at the gym.
Yeah, famous dudes especially. "Hi, I'm John." Like, no shit, ass chin. No, but here,
I'm Castor Troy.
But I'm trying to just, I'm trying
That's
to
what
think.
he should have said.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of ways where maybe it wasn't. So if you were in a gym with just you and another guy at 3 a.m, maybe it's a small place. Maybe it was kind of awkward. Maybe it's like you're fucking like really near each other. It's like, I'll just fucking introduce myself.
Maybe he just wanted to use the fucking piece of equipment the guy was hogging.
Maybe I just want to. He's like,
no, dude, all the fucking years I went to the gym, if I want to use a piece of equipment, I didn't go, "Hey, I'm Josh. Can I use this piece of equipment, please?"
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot more pieces there, you know. And who knows, dude? If I was John Travolta and I was famous and I was in the gym with this other guy, it's like, man, he's probably like corner because I'm famous, right? Maybe it was an icebreaker.
Yeah, maybe he thought the guy was looking at him and he's like, "Oh, does he want like an autograph? Maybe I'll just go introduce him so it break the ice."
I'm just saying, if he was at that gym, maybe he was at that gym more than one night. And it's like, dude, if I'm here all the time and it's just this one guy and I'm famous, I feel like I'm just going to cut the tension and be like, "Hey, I'm John." So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, but dude, he's John Travolta. Don't you think he would have his own gym?
Yeah, unless he was traveling, unless he was on location.
I would have been fucking touched if John Travolta wanted to fuck me.
You know, I mean, it seems like he'd be able to clear out the local fitness factory or whatever to get like an hour in.
I don't know about that. If he was on location, he was filming. I don't think he's gonna. Arnold Schwarzenegger still goes to Gold's Gym. He doesn't fucking like Arnold Schwarzenegger has a home gym, but he still works out at Gold's Venice Beach.
It's because he's waiting for some guy to fucking want to fuck him.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure he's not going up to some Joe Schmo and being like,
"I'm on you." Like,
actually, I take that back. I could believe that Arnold would do that because he's such a fan of the
personable guy,
the social aspects of working out.
Yeah,
so that would make sense for Arnie, but not for Travolta.
I agree. No, that is an interesting point because if you're right, that's a good point. If I was at a gym and I was at Gold's Gym and let's say it was empty and Arnold Schwarzenegger showed up and he came up to me and introduced himself after, you know, working out in the same small space for 30 minutes, "I'm Arnold," like, and he'd probably give you like a quip or like a little tip or something.
Yeah, I'd be like, you know, "Hey, maybe you're not raising your elbows enough on this lift," kind of thing, you know, like, you know.
What if Arnold came on to you though? That'd be fucking.
I'd consider it. I'd consider a lot more than I would Travolta.
No, I fuck them both.
No, you were John Matrix, dude. Get in me now. I'm just kidding.
He's like, you know, I noticed you were pumping. You know, I like to pump sometimes. You want to come to my place? We can pump. That'd be donk.
Do you think when Travolta's taking it in the ass, he says, "Oh my God. Oh my God"?
Hopefully.
No, but anyway, no, Josh, you made a really, really good point. But I'm just saying there is room for error. So I'm not going to say that doesn't necessarily 100% without a doubt make him gay. What does make John Travolta gay is all the paparazzi photos that came out a handful of years ago with him making out with a guy in a pool. Like fucking high def photos.
I don't think I ever saw those photos.
You never seen those? There was pictures that came out like 5 years ago with him in a swimming pool, broad daylight, paparazzi shots with him kissing who I can only assume was his young boyfriend because he was much younger, and he was kissing him, full on fucking making out with him.
Sounds fucking illegal. Like, did that paparazzi go to jail for that?
I don't know, but to me, that is 100%. That's gay. Like, I'm giving
that's fucking. He was just experimenting, bro. All the cool kids do.
I'm gonna find it. Hold on, John Travolta. I'm gonna find.
You never sucked a cock for fun?
Hold on,
just to prove you don't like it. How do you know you don't?
I'm gonna get a picture. I'm gonna put it in the. I don't care. I'm just proving a point. I was just proving a point that look, the gym thing. I could find marginal error there. There's another guy involved. He could be bullshitting. Maybe he got a fucking selfie. Maybe he went up to him and got a selfie because the selfie's there and they're both smiling like thumbs up. Like you kind of look like the dude that asked him for a photo. You know what I mean? The way it is.
No, I think I think Castor Troy was like, you know what? People wanted to take pictures with me. I like taking pictures with nobodies. You want to take a picture with me?
Oh my gosh. Here's another one. I'm going to put it in the chat, guys. I'm saying the gym thing doesn't necessarily make him gay. The guy could have been full of shit. This does make him gay, though. Look at this photo I just put in the chat. Can you guys see it?
Not yet. But my fucking dick is hard as a rock, and I'm ready.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty gay. That's pretty gay.
That's one that's pretty gay. Like, how are you going to get around that one? I mean... Maybe he can make up a lie and say, you don't get it. It was out of context. We were filming a movie. Like, okay, when this movie come out? Oh, I got scrapped. Yeah, likely story, asshole. But
oh, that's hot as fuck.
There was another photo of him in a pool too, kissing a guy coming out of the water. I'm sorry, but that's what makes him gay. That's evidence right there. The pool, the gym thing, whatever. I'll let that one go. There's already enough on him. But who cares?
The thing is, it's just sad because there's something wrong with being gay. It's just that he has to live in the closet for his whole fucking life, and it's like,
if he came out now, he'd probably be like, I don't want to come out now because now people will just accuse me of doing it because my career's in the shitter.
So I think if he came out now, he'd probably be like he'd be like a mainstream hero for doing it, for finally coming out and like being. It just depends on how you do it, really, But
he should like sexually assault somebody, and then whenever they come out and tell on him, he should be like, "Hey, I didn't do that, but hey, I am gay."
Who knows? I mean,
Kevin Spacey.
I don't want to turn into. Yeah. I don't want to turn into a big like gossiping old hen podcast, but who cares? Maybe he's one of these guys that's just not gay enough to where he doesn't even think it fucking matters. Maybe he really does love his wife and he's straight. He's like,
maybe he's fucking bi or something, Like
maybe, yeah. I mean, he's like maybe it's not that fucking big of a deal. I could see that if you like could swing whatever way, you wouldn't think it's that even a big deal to address. The people that really have to come out are the people that like, I'm only gay. I can't live this lie. Like I have nothing else. Maybe he's just.
If they have to make it to a big deal, it's like I don't really give a shit who people stick their dick into. You know what I mean? Or spread their legs for or whatever. It's like, I don't give a shit.
As long as I get to watch, I'm fine with it.
All right.
Yeah.
So I didn't even finish Adrian's question. What? Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. So yeah, that puts a nail on that one.
Look at Adrian stirring the pot. Mendoza, the fucking Omega.
Thanks,
making
dude.
a mess of things as usual.
Thanks, Omega. No, that was an awesome question, dude. We're happy to address it. Joker commentary, which, by the way, I got to say, Zach, that Joker commentary is one of our best. That's top 5 that we've ever done, ever. Easy.
Dog.
It's really good. I went back and listened to it. I'm like, because we got a slew of comments that were basically giving it the same criticism. Like, you know what? This one has it all. It's one of your best, and it really did.
I was feeling like this probably want to be one of the movies you guys actually talk about a little bit during the commentary. So I was like pretty excited for that one too.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah,
I
listened to it a couple days ago. I think it came out last Wednesday,
couple weeks ago. But yeah, it had a nice balance of talking about the flick, talking about personal stuff, all sorts of stuff. I thought it was a great episode. So if only we could do that every week. Joker though, it was Ishmael Premu again. He says, I'm in for a great time. He grabs the popcorn. Hopefully you liked it. Star Wars Holiday Special. That abortion. William Lowry says, I'm surprised how much you two don't like Star Wars. I like it, but I don't love it. I think the original trilogy is as good as it gets, but then everything else is, as Aaron put it, popcorn entertainment. I didn't even bother seeing Rise of Skywalker because I'm kind of burned out at the amount of Star Wars we've gotten over the past few years. I didn't say I hated it. I said I've just never been a fan.
I mentioned in the commentary that we had to fucking play up how much we don't like it.
Yeah,
it's just to make people mad.
I'm just kind of like impartial. It's whatever. I can to me, all of them are just kind of popcorn fodder. I could watch them. I could sit here and watch Return of the Jedi with a friend right now if they really wanted to and twist my arm. I'll watch it. I'll talk on it and I'll eat popcorn. It'll be whatever. I could just kind of like take it or leave it. I'm not bent out of shape about them.
Have they ever released the original versions yet on Blu-ray?
No, I think was it JJ?
What the fuck are they waiting for?
JJ Abrams, wasn't he like pushing for them to release the original theatrical cuts again, Josh?
Yeah,
right?
what the fuck?
Because all you can get is those like altered ones with all the weird CGI. And
They're never going to release those because I think Lucas has a stranglehold on those. So
I remember for a while Lucas was, I don't know if he was lying, but he was saying like, oh, you can't anyway because I put the CG over the original print, so the prints have that shit on them too, or something like that.
No.
Who knows?
It's all digital shit. The originals are still out there. You can get them on VHS. They're really rare if you find any in a thrift store. Buy them, but they have the I don't know what they call it, the unedited versions or whatever out there on the internet. You can buy them from bootleggers and shit, but they should just fucking embrace it and release them. They would make a ton of money off of it. But I think George Lucas cockblocked Disney from releasing those. So you're gonna have to get them illegally on the internet or something. You know,
they need to sit on that Star Wars shit for like 5 years at least. At least give people 5 years. You know, my opinion was that I like I said, I never related to it, but I understand that the people that did relate to it. I think that you can't go from having an original trilogy and then when Return of the Jedi came out, I think it was another 15 years or something like that before you had the next trilogy start. You can't just have like 5 million movies in like 3 years when people, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's different. I think it's taken the magical element that all these people have these rose-colored glasses and nostalgic eyes for. It's just it's pissing all over it. I don't know. That's just how I view it. But
that's why they did a good thing with the Indiana Jones movie. If they would have put out another one the next year, people would have been like, fuck this movie, fuck all of them, after they just watched the one before it.
You know, it's crazy. Fucking 12 years since Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I can't fucking believe that shit.
Feels like yesterday. It really does.
Oh my God, yeah. Can't believe it. It's insane.
And that's nuts that I can't believe they're doing another one.
They really shouldn't do it. Really shouldn't.
Oh, they're going to bring Shia LaBeouf back. It's going to be amazing.
I'm going to move on with comments. We got a comment on one of our 5-minute videos, Zach. The 5-minute problem child video that Zach put together. Julio Feliz says, LOL, fuck, this shit was funny. So I dig it when we get comments on those. Those took...
I thought he was just going to say, LOL, fuck this shit. And I was like, damn.
No, man. Dude, when we get comments on those, when people discover those, they're always really positive. So those take, I think, Zach, quite a bit of time. That's why we really don't do them anymore. But it'd be cool if we could, eventually do some more. But the people that do see them, they do really like them. So, I mean, if you guys dig them, let us know. But they're really cool. I forwarded him some more because I think, I don't even think Problem Child is one of the best ones. I think our best one is House Guest. Oops, sorry. Super Mario Brothers. And then there's one more that I think was really fucking funny. I can't remember, but those two in particular are really good. Carlos Arjan, hopefully I said your name right, these are all going to be Joker. He says, great commentary overall, had fun with it. First commentary I watched the movie along with, and as a fan commentary, so that was a fun, different way to watch the flick. I got a couple of pointers. He says, the guy that was Arthur's boss in the movie was also the voice of Raphael in the 1990 TMNT movie. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Some kind of big turtle in a trench coat. Lagoyo, yeah. Joker showing up on the talk show is a reference to him doing so in Dark Knight Returns. Difference is, in the book, he kills the whole audience as well, and I'm glad they didn't do a mass shooter angle on it. Yeah, I don't know if they would have gotten away with that. He says, have you guys seen the Netflix docuseries Don't Fuck with Cats? Simply just a real fucked up story about finding a guy who killed kittens and posted on a YouTube channel. Anyways, still was hoping you guys can get the F-13 remake. We're doing it today. Since you guys did the Nightmare on Elm Street remake one. Or the Bay Turtle films. Thanks again for the great content. No, I appreciate it.
It's all for you, baby.
Yeah, man, this was your request. So
what's his name?
His name is Carlos.
It's all for you, Carlos. It's all for you. And then I just jump off the top roof and hang myself.
It's all for you, Damien. That's an underwhelming movie. Let's see.
You watch that? Fuck you.
William Lowry on Joker. He says, haven't seen Joker yet, but I've seen one of Joker's sources of inspiration, Taxi Driver. And let me tell you, it's a great movie. Aaron, I found your work stories from when you worked at that restaurant very relatable. As someone who worked at a Little Caesars for 4 years, I experienced many of the same trials and tribulations, highs and lows that you did. But I take solace knowing that I've moved on to something better. He says, writing for a college newspaper, which is way more satisfying and fun to do than make pizzas ad nauseum.
You know what's funny about William Lowry is like he seems like he's like 32, but he's actually like 22 years old.
Yeah, he's younger than us.
Like he's just a college kid. He's a college kid, but he seems like he's so much older for some reason.
He's a party animal.
Well, you guys have actually seen him in the flesh. I haven't, but
he's kind of like he kind of reminds me of like a Bruce Campbell like character, kind of a caricature of a character. You know, he's really vibrant. He's really animated, like his expressions. You know.
Yeah, you don't want to take your girlfriend around because he'll fuck her. Like she'll instantly like fall out of love with you and want to fuck the William Lowry.
You will go home single. But yeah, no, I agree. He says, then again, everyone has had to at some point in his life or her life work a job that they weren't satisfied with in order to reach something more desirable or fulfilling. And that's a key point, William. I mean, we have to. There's no such thing as going from level 1 to 100. People have to fucking take the necessary steps, and you have to put in the work, man.
Paying your dues, man.
I mean, at the sake of sounding like Grandpa Simpson, you know, a lot of people in the current generation, they just kind of, the Instagram generation that are like heavily into the influencers on Instagram that are just waving money at you, that are like 18 years old and they're driving fucking Rolls Royces and shit. That shit's fake as fuck, man. And that's like not even 1%. You don't want to be that. And I'm sorry, if you're 18 years old and you're driving a Ferrari, you didn't earn it.
Yeah, and like one of the things that makes you an actual human being as you mature over life is having to do hard things, do things you don't want to do for long periods of time, builds character, you know? And you should try it. You know, challenge yourself to have to do something you don't want to do, and do what it takes to survive on your own. It's like that's what I think of a lot of generations from Gen X on back had to do shitty jobs for long periods of time and slowly inch their way out of poverty. And those type of people tend to be more grateful in life for the things that they have that make their life easier versus the newer generation who seems to have a lot of things sort of just given to them, you know?
I'm not knocking on people that have nice shit or have good lives and are young, but I will say that I personally don't understand if you're somebody that's 18 or whatever and clearly influenced by a rich family, even if it is your money, you came from money. Something elevated you, something put you on some kind of platform to make you able to be at that place. I don't see the point in like bragging about it and posting all these pictures and showing off that stuff, because I mean, what are you bragging about? That I have cool shit? I could see wanting to boast about earning something and working hard for something and being proud of it, but I don't know. I see an 18-year-old with like a fucking Ferrari with a bunch of fucking gold chains, and I'm like, I don't. What are we boasting about? That's just me personally.
Oh, fuck them both. You get that money from your parents, and fuck yeah, like fuck, you might become the president.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, he says, come to think of it, the topic of jobs we've had to work over the course of our lives would make for an interesting deep end episode. He says, I'd like to do another deep end episode. Hopefully we'll see soon. Going back to Taxi Driver, he says, a fun genre to explore for commentaries or cinema enema would be vigilante movies, especially with stuff like the previously mentioned Taxi Driver and Death Wish. Well, the first one at least. No, those are good suggestions, man. Taxi Driver, that's cinema enema material. I don't know if I want to do a commentary, but I love Taxi Driver. I think it's a perfect 10. That's maybe the best Scorsese movie. Let's see. Block 069, also on Joker. He says, check out the great Sam Neill in Possession, 1981, because we were talking about how underrated Sam Neill was, because I had seen him in a movie recently. It's like he just kind of pops up every now and again. Like, hey, isn't that the guy that fucking headlined Jurassic Park? Why is he playing the head nurse of a hospital in this movie?
I've seen Possession. That's a fucking weird movie.
Yeah, I'd like to see it, man. I fucking like him. Thanks, Block of 69.
Italian movie. You wouldn't like it.
Is it
Italian? What's the one Carpenter movie that he's in?
In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah, Mouth of Madness. Yeah.
Yeah. That's going back on directors. I wanted to bring up John Carpenter when you were talking about like Spielberg and people that have, lost it along the way. I get it. Carpenter's output has been nothing in like the fucking last couple of decades, and the last movie he did was shit. And Ghosts of Mars was shit. But if you can just kind of like not look at his lack of output, sorry, I think pound for pound, man, dude, nobody had a streak like Carpenter in the 70s and 80s. Like for a while there, man, it was just classic after classic after classic after classic after classic. I mean, all the way up until like They Live, and then even to me the movie that was The Bridge, right? Kind of the end of the era, but not, depending on who you ask, In the Mouth of Madness. To me, that was like, early 90s Carpenter, or mid-90s, 95. It's like, is this shitty or is it good? I like it.
You think one day when fucking John Carpenter's in a nursing home shitting his pants, that nurse is going to fucking change his diaper and be like, you know what? Nobody has a streak like John Carpenter.
I don't know. That's
what I thought of when you said that.
That's just my 2 cents. I think he was unfuckable for a while there. Anyway, David Capper on Joker, going to try and wrap it up here. He says, near perfect session, boys, an excellent weaving of movie talk, factoids, hangout talk, catching up, BTM drama, wrap up, and guitar talk. It's got it all. Only bittersweet part for me is that another one of Uncle Capper's story corner interrupted the end of the film. Damn, I got to nutshell that shit. He says, fun fact, I told that Pop Mart Bono story to Esai Morales once. Who's Esai Morales, you ask? He played Richie's brother Bob in La Bamba. He said, but the story of meeting him, I'll leave for your La Bamba commentary section during the bioexploitation. It's a good one, winky face. BTM has started 2020. Nice.
Esai Morales. You think he did fucking acid with Esai Morales?
I don't know. I'm looking forward. I know you don't have to tell me who Esai Morales is, man. I think I've always thought he was a great actor. He's really good in Bad Boys too.
I'm a bigger fan of West Side Morales.
Esai Morales, you're dumb, fucker. Esai Morales is awesome. He played the bad guy in that Sean Penn Bad Boys movie. I really like that. And he's a big actor in the Hispanic community. He's one of those guys that a production that's like a Latino production, he's like in all those movies. He's not in enough mainstream shit, but he should be because he's really good. But no, we look forward to that. I think our next exploitation, once we're done with some requests, should be bio stuff because there's a lot of flicks we could do. La Bamba is a given, and I want to hear that Capper story. So thanks, dude. Twilight Zone and Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. This is my favorite comment of the week. Michael Barry says, low class hacks. And then
exactly,
Zach gave the best rebuttal ever.
Yeah, go ahead and read that.
Zach says, I wish we knew you when we were naming the podcast.
Hell yes. Fucking see, I think we should put up a poll. Who thinks we should just change the fucking name?
The LCH podcast. It can make a good logo. Low class hacks. It's not a bad name. I actually kind of wish, like as a tongue in cheek thing, I would not be opposed to having a podcast called the Low Class Hacks. It's not bad. Okay, gonna wrap it up here with a couple more. Adrian Mendoza on Joker says, this was a really good episode that covered the film but also delved into many great topics. I'm sorry to hear about Mac, and I hope you guys bury the hatchet. I could tell from Zach's voice the love he has for Mac, and I'm sure it's vice versa. This episode sounded more like a Deep End episode. Thanks for putting out the not a Home Alone commentary. It was hilarious. I now know who Sa Woo is. I also love the abrupt ending. He says, Zach, what does your dick smell like? Aaron, I'm glad you watched and enjoyed The Crying Game. I watched an Adam Sandler double feature, Punch Drunk Love with Uncut Gems. I highly recommend Punch Drunk Love if either of you guys have never seen the film. It's just, I'll never watch it again. It was all right. I liked Uncut Gems a lot more. He says, you
know that stanky cheese you can get to fish with?
That's what your dick smells like?
That's what it smells
like. Your dick smells like fucking fish bait?
Exactly.
He says Uncut Gems was a good movie. I enjoyed the score and thought Adam Sandler's girlfriend in the film was excellent. Nah, dude, we both really liked Uncut Gems. Not so much on... I'm not a big Paul Thomas Anderson fan. He's hit or miss for me. I love Boogie Nights, but it is what it is. Okay, last couple of comments I'll read. It come from RazorFet147. He commented on my Ernie Hudson interview. He's from a few years back. He goes... damn, Ernie's in good shape. He says, I don't think any of the cast involved in those first two films appreciate the experience of being involved in them as much as Mr. Hudson. He seems to genuinely adore the fan base. I think he's super appreciative to this day of being in those movies because, well, Eddie Murphy turned the job down, so he got real lucky, right? He was the outsider coming in, and I think he doesn't take that for granted, right? He got real lucky.
It's the only thing he has to hang his hat on, dude. So, of course, he's going to appreciate it. It's just like Felissa Rose and Sleepaway Camp. It's like, It's what keeps them.
But you know what though? Dude, listen, I get it as far as a big mainstream thing, but Ghostbusters solidified him work forever. He's always working. He's been in a lot of movies. And I mean, he was in Oz, the greatest TV show of all fucking time. He's been in tons and tons and tons of movies, but nothing's going to come close to the juggernaut of a franchise. Right?
Yeah, but of course he's going to be like singing the praises of like Ghostbusters and hang with the fans at conventions and all that. When Bill Murray's not going to do it, Dan Aykroyd's not going to do it, and Harold Ramis is dead. So, I mean, it just makes sense. He's the working man of the fucking group, literally.
He literally no, but he literally is. He really is he's reflective of his character in the movie. He's the anything for a paycheck guy. He's the working man.
It's kind of nice to have an accessible Ghostbuster.
Yeah.
You know?
But he is the Winston Zeddemore. He embodies the Winston Zeddemore character. He's so likable. And I still think he doesn't take it for granted. I mean, he works full time because of Ghostbusters. I think and he got lucky. And it would be a totally different story.
They should have just said, see, first of all, fucking Bill Murray's a cunt. All right. He's an asshole. Everybody knows it. All right. They should just fucking get rid of Bill Murray and put, fucking Winston in there, man. Let's have a Winston Ghostbuster movie.
Look, I know that none of the original Ghostbusters are going to have a big part in this new movie. It doesn't look like I get it. It's going to be better than the female one, but that's not a very tall order to make good on. I feel it when I watched that trailer. I mean, I'll still curious. I'm still wanting to see it, but I think it didn't seem like Ghostbusters. It seemed too dark. Did it not? That trailer? It's like, what is this?
It was one. I'm still reserving judgment. I wasn't blown away by the Ghostbusters trailer though.
No, it didn't seem like Ghostbusters to me. Like there was no whimsical element. Like they went full on kind of like dark.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, it's like, what is this? Like, no, I get it. The female Ghostbusters was too fucking bananas, but come on, man. That doesn't mean you have to go the complete other direction. But I'm hoping this is a case where the trailer doesn't do the movie justice, like, because the trailer just reeks of, oh man, passing the torch. The Ghostbusters are going to be in it for like 5-10 minutes max.
It's a tricky trailer to put together in that scenario. You know what I mean?
I'm hoping that the scenes that we saw were not made up and comprised of a lot of the movie. And I'm hoping,
I think they were trying to be very nondescript for a reason.
I hope we get a big surprise and the regular cast is in it a lot. I'm hoping, I hope it's a real big surprise, because I'm going in expecting it to be your typical, okay, they're going to be in it for a couple of scenes towards the end, or they're going to be in it just a little bit. Even if they're only in it for a little bit.
If you give Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd at least the opportunity to set up the story of the movie and, give it some gravitas, have them in there. I don't think they necessarily have to strap on a fucking proton pack, but
to really pass the torch, they have to have equal. They need to be. I want to see them in the movie at least as much as Harrison Ford was in Force Awakens, right?
Mm-hmm. Which wasn't really that. Well, but yeah, that's
he was in it. Week, yeah, he was in it quite a bit, right? But he was not. But yet, you still had your Rey character that was the new blood.
Well, yeah, you had the Chewie "we're home" moment. That's huge.
I'm saying, like, as much as I'm not a Star Wars fan, and as much as that movie was a big fucking retread and it was a cheap cash in, they did the passing of the torch right, at least for the Harrison Ford Chewie characters, because they were in the movie enough, they were central to the plot enough, but yet they still had the main, new characters, and he died or whatever, and they carried on. At least give us that. But whatever, even if the Ghostbusters are in it for 5 minutes, whatever, or a whole hour or 2 hours, give Ernie Hudson equal share time to Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray. He needs to be in it just as much, because we're already down one Ghostbuster. I get it. Egon's presence is going to be in the movie because the story's kind of around him. It's obviously his granddaughter, right? So they've got him tied up in the lore. But give Winston his due. That's all I got to say.
I think you have to have Sigourney Weaver, and you have to have, I really wish they had.
He's not Louis Tully. He's not in it.
I really wish they had managed at least a cameo.
They need to blow our fucking minds and have the Weaves and the Reeves in there.
Yeah. Well, look, for them to have all the remaining Ghostbusters plus Sigourney Weaver, I mean, unless Bill Murray is Venkman and Dana Barrett going to be married, and they're just going to kind of like be shoehorned in one scene together. You know what I mean? Or I hope all these characters are justified being in the movie. I hope they're written.
They should have like Oscar come out as a fucking Ghostbuster at the very end, you know?
Well, that was one of the scripts back in the day, that Oscar would have been one of the new Ghostbusters, the new team, right? The new blood.
And he actually turns it like a similar situation with the first movie. He actually turns into a big Oscar Mayer wiener.
Okay. So
destroys the town.
So we're going a little heavy on this one, and we're going too long. So, but yeah, the Ghostbusters, when that comes out, I mean, I think between both of our channels, we're all going to be talking about that one a lot. I mean, I do want to see it. I didn't see that female one. I'm still kind of against this movie. I don't have any high hopes for it, but I'm not like at the point where I don't want to see it. I'm curious, but I just hope, they can only please me at this point. Like, I have zero expectations.
The problem is they have the double stink. They have we got to live up to the original Ghostbusters, and we have to shake off the terrible reboot Ghostbusters at the same time.
I've already forgotten about it.
That's brutal, dude.
I've already forgot about it. But anyway,
brutal.
We'll talk about that more when the time comes for that flick. But anyway, that's all we got. Same old pitch. Josh, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you and follow you and see your shit?
Yeah. Well, if you want to listen to my horror podcast, it's on horrorphilia.com. It's called the R-Rated Horror Commentary Podcast. Zach and Aaron are on there a lot in different orientations, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my YouTube channel is the R-Rated Show. It's not just horror, but it's a bunch of different genres of movies and talking about comics and different things. It's just kind of an open YouTube channel of mine to just enjoy pop culture. And if you get a chance, go over there and subscribe and check out what we've got to offer. And that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah. And as far as us, man, you guys know the drill if you're long timers. If you guys are new to this is your first episode. I don't know if you're watching it on YouTube or podcast networks. If you're on YouTube, everybody needs to stop what you're doing, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, share us with everybody. We need to make this the year of BTM. We're coming up on another threshold. I want this to be a really good year for us. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure you guys are following the links in the descriptions to at least go and head over to the podcast networks to at least give us a 4-star rating, feedback, and even check us out over there. We're everywhere you want to be, man. We're on Spotify, we're on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, any way you want us, you got us. So all that stuff, follow us on social media, and check back for more. We do this show once a week. We got Cinema Enema currently, that's once a month, and we got a slew of other shows on the network as well. So happy hunting, and that's all we got. Bye bye, puppets.
End of the week at the Revival House. Next month's theme, you gotta figure it out. Italian zombies or Pauly Shore, a slasher with a knife and the girl next door, and 1 second in, get it all queued up and ready, hit play in 3, 2, 1. Bye bye puppets, Zach Pete and a solo cut band. Couldn't miss Cameron's love and Josh's Scott failed and Riverman's babe. Bye bye puppets. Sounds good, like this country used to.